Good evening, party people!
Hi.
This is my dearest wife.
Hi.
I'm the dearest husband.
I am wife.
You are Weefay. What if I wore this one?
Oh,
what if I wore the wife
I
sweatshirt?
could switch. Would you like it?
You
what?
just...
You're wearing my Alaska pins.
Okay. We got pins from Alaska. Of course I'm going to wear them on the bartending outfit. Why wouldn't I? Hello, and welcome back to everybody here. The Bar with an X cordially welcomes you to the post-moon, which happens after the honeymoon.
Well,
not the pre-moon.
Back to Gen Con.
Not to the pre-moon.
Does that get a moon?
The pre-moon was technically also the Bar with an X, come to think of it. The moon was everything but.
Was the moon the space bar moon?
But we're back now. We're back now. So tonight on stream, there is a very, very distinct lack of cocktails. I do have one. You can ask about it. And Anna's got Coca-Cola. You can also ask about that too.
It's just Coke.
It's just Coca-Cola, basically.
It's just soda.
We thought it'd be nice to kind of, like, being that we've been gone for like a solid month and doing literally everything from getting stuck in Canada to willingly going to Canada, we figured we might as well talk about it. We brought
like
a couple
how you only brought up Canada. We went to Gen Con.
Canada was a significant portion of the journey, in my opinion.
Yes.
Albeit because of troubles and whatnot, but also Gen Con.
Gen Con had lots of
to kind of walk you through, we went on our honeymoon. We were gone for like a month here, and so now I think it's just time to talk about it. I hope everybody out there has been keeping very, very well. If not, and you're at a low point, hopefully as we kick things back in gear again, we can bring you back up to whatever level was at least a steady state for you. I can't guarantee that this stream makes your life better. But I can at least partially guarantee that it brings us back to
guarantee this one will probably make me tired.
That's okay. Yeah, Anna's exhausted. What were you doing today?
I was shadowing today, so I officially start my job, I think Monday, but like a lot of the mentorship is shadowing and going back through, so I'm just getting reused to clinic.
Anna's a real doctor.
I am a real doctor.
Anna is a real doctor.
You.
That's very, very wonderful. I got to see
so many little kids today.
Speaking of little kids, hello everybody out there. Y'all are not children.
Did you just say they were children?
That was my segue, but hello to everybody who's here already. I'm seeing familiar faces like Sebastian with an X and 80 the Beat saying it's their last stream. What do you mean by that? I see, excuse me. I'll intro Brad that way, our beautiful mod, as well as functional on a winner as well.
Excuse me, Brad.
Oh my gosh. 80 saying my life is 10 times better because of this stream. That is heartfelt.
That's so
Thank you,
sweet.
80.
Stop giving him an ego.
Based off of your last comment, I guess we're gonna miss you. Feel free to provide context as you want to. I saw not only Annie sticking around for another once, but also Glorfenstein as well as More Than Awesome, aka Brad. I think Brad, you've been around.
Party hats.
Yeah, upgraded party hats. Did you not know, like at least over here on the Twitch side, every 3 months or so, your little party hat indicator like changes form.
I thought after
it evolves.
A year. It went to
it's like every 3 months or something. I honestly have no idea, but you've leveled up. Congratulations, you're onto my favorite color party hat. It's the blue one with a little bit of green. I like that.
Looks funky.
It's just a little bit funky. So, dearest
Cameron,
how is our honeymoon?
No, go back to Gen Con. You have
That's
to go back all the way to the beginning. We're doing this in chronological order.
How was the first part of my stream hiatus, which I am collectively calling the honeymoon with an X, for we are honeymooners with an X. That
didn't start
the
until
X goes
halfway
after
through
both
August.
of the O's.
So you have to go all the way back to Gen Con. Gen Con was great.
Back.
I will respond to the honeymoon
back.
questions later.
All the way back. So to give it y'all an idea of where we started, we had our last stream, I think, at the very end of, what was it, July or something? I think July, August, September.
I think it was the last day.
We pretty much had there was no streams in August. I kind of teased that maybe we'd do like a little one here and there, but when you're on, it just didn't happen.
When he's supposed to take a break, he's supposed to take a break.
It didn't happen. I was taking a break. We've developed a slideshow so that y'all can join us along for our little adventure. It's gonna be a fun one. 80 saying, I have school and your streams are usually at 3 a.m., so you can't be awake for 3 a.m. This is very fair. Please prioritize your education, and when you are all well educated, maybe you can reward yourself every once in a while when you get like an A on your report card or something, you know? Not to say that this should be a reward, but like, if you choose it to be for yourself, we will make sure to provide.
Please get adequate sleep. I do preach that because that is required in order to be a safety for yourself and others.
That's fair. Make sure to keep yourself well, indeed. Glorfenstein saying, I actually got worried when I saw the last online a month ago. It's true. We were off for a while.
Cameron was on a required break.
It's true.
He did not take a required break. He took a partial required break.
I took a required break, but I took pictures along the way and I made it into content just like any content creator should do because nothing I do is private.
He did work half of it, so.
I did a little bit of work. Basically what I was doing, basically what we were doing was we went to a convention. I worked for a week, then screwed off onto a cruise, and then I came back to work.
Onto
as opposed to saying fucked off to a cruise.
Cameron.
Oh my god!
Didn't you learn their... Never mind. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Where's the clicky button? I want pictures.
So don't think that we're gonna leave you high and dry. Don't think we're gonna leave you like without like any sort of references and stuff. So the folks viewing on the vertical side, no face for y'all. Instead, you get a fancy slideshow that is not made in PowerPoint. And we're gonna try to share this screen as much as we possibly can.
Okay.
What are you?
It's
why are you doing
perfect
this?
now. Nope. There we go. This is how it should work. I don't know.
You're a language 80. Brad's saying that September school makes sense. We'll miss seeing you at like 6 a.m. your time.
Oh my
like
god.
3 a.m. It's wild. Oh my gosh. Well, it's good. Where was all the good stuff? The Tartouine sour. So let's.
So we went to Gen Con. But before we went to Gen Con, we had our friends.
That's true.
Who we met up with on the way to Gen Con. And they took us to a space bar.
Up in here.
What?
Let's get a little closer together. There we go. Now we can stop, please. Please don't do that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Put a nickel in the swear jar. How about?
Do we have a swear jar?
I'm gonna take this really cheap measuring majigger.
Please don't throw it. I don't want loud noises right now.
So I didn't throw it. I kind of rolled it off the counter. So the first part of our journey, we found ourselves heading over to Indianapolis for a little board game convention called Gen Con, specifically Gen Con 2024. It is a board game convention. It's probably the biggest board game convention.
I think it's the largest one in the North Americas.
I think that's partially true at the very least. It's pretty freaking huge. It encompasses an entire football stadium with just board games, an entire convention center, and many of the surrounding blocks and hotels.
I think.
It's freaking wild. Before we even got there, we actually met up with you know who you are. If you would like to shout out who you are more than welcome to. We were joined with two very special community members of ours, people that we call very, very close friends, and we picked them up on the way to Indianapolis. But before we got there, we stopped in Pittsburgh for a bar recommendation. It's called The Space Bar, and The Space Bar is... I could spend an entire stream talking about the Space Bar in Pittsburgh.
If you want immersive, go there.
Please go there. If you are a cocktail fanatic and you are local to the East Coast, please go to the Space Bar. First of all, the owner and top, dare I say, cosmixologist, Captain Elizabeth, is amazing. We talked about centrifuging. They had those little like glass containers there are smoking chambers where you get there was I think a Star Wars themed drink, there were Star Trek themed drinks. That one,
if you can think of a space themed thing, it basically kind of hits on that, and they changed their menu. I think it's by season.
Oh yeah.
So like this is one of the drinks that I think stays on consistently.
Yeah, the drink pictured here is a Tartouine sour. Tartouine like Tatooine, you know, Star Wars references and stuff. It's made with a variety of different things. It uses a milk washing technique to clarify the cocktail. It features flavors of, I know most prominently, soursop, which is a fruit that I've never tasted but had the chance to taste in this drink here. It's not super sour. It's not super duper tart. It was very palatable to me. It was very soft and kind of tasted a little bit like coconut. And that little star on the center was a pandan, like a little leaf, and they punch it into a star because Tartouine's got a star. Is it super soft? Who knows, Brad?
No idea.
I see Annie out there just screaming at the top of her lungs. It was me! It was me! It was me! It was me! Yeah, we went with Annie. Yeah. Annie was. You'll just have to try to figure out who the other person is, I guess. It was wonderful. Little Abe says hi. Hi, Little Abe! Hi! Oh my gosh, I dig the vibe. It was wonderful. That walking into that place was like walking into like a nightclub in terms of the atmosphere and
it was like a nightclub I would like to go to because I don't like loud noises.
They had like a big like fake space window viewing the galaxy.
It was not fake, Cameron.
It was a real.
We were inside a spaceship.
Inside of a spaceship.
And we were watching as the galaxy went by us. A unique galaxy for this world.
At least once.
We hit it a lot of times so that we could travel a lot.
We were traveling all around the galaxy.
A lot.
It was great. And he says like nightclub with no dancing. Okay, Anna. I mean, we kind of.
There were no dancing.
I mean, we could have danced.
Question mark?
You chose not to. And I'm relatively certain they were playing the same like synthwave playlist that I listened to. Although our captain on the ship and also DJ, but also just all around amazing human being. She was saying that it was a custom playlist, but it definitely had a couple of hits that I absolutely recognized from my synthwaving. Listening to synthwave. That's the plan, at least. Yeah. Anyway, I could dwell on the space bar, but I won't.
This was stop one.
This was stop number one. Well, this is not even the bulk of what we did.
To like, wait. This would be stop 4 of the ways to Gen Con. So I don't like to sit for long hours of a day.
I love this
and
one. Oh my God.
I pick out locations that you stop at. We stopped at the Cambridge Glass Museum.
Let's get our bearings, right? So on our way, we are still on our way to Indianapolis. We are on our way to Gen Con, and we drive the entire way. We love road tripping. Along the way, we stop at a glass museum, and we were expecting it to be like one of those places where
you spend a half hour, you look at pretty glass.
You look at glassware and you move on.
There was this nice older lady that decided to give us a full tour.
We got the full
tour.
For
an hour and a half, and we're just standing there. None of us are like, we're all too nice, and we're like,
2 hours. Of glassware.
Okay.
The monkey it's just the tip of the iceberg. Foreshadowing.
It was a lot.
Tip of the glacier. Foreshadowing.
It was a lot of glass. It was a lot of glass.
Glorfenstein.
And then she'd be like, "Oh yeah, here's where we had that." What?
No. Please continue. I'm queuing something up.
But so like there were what was it called? She used the UV light and everything because there's certain. Why do I get a hat?
I'm queuing something up. Please keep telling the story.
I'm very distracted. Am I a dunce or something?
No, it's party time.
Where's the one that looks like you?
Oh my God. You mean that one?
Yeah, I want that one.
That's this one. You want this one? There you go.
Where's mine?
You want a party horn?
No. Why do I need a party horn?
Why are you not telling the story?
I'm confused.
Tell the story or blow the horn. Happy birthday, Glorfenstein! Happy birthday from the Bar WithAnX to you. Check out this monkey on the right. It's right for you. It's actually on the left-hand side from your perspective. I got confused. Stop it.
Oh, it's told to blow into a horn.
Thank you so much for sharing your birthday with us here at the Bar WithAnX. Feel free to collect your free drink token at the front door if you can find it. That's really cool.
Idea.
Happy birthday, dude.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Good job, Cameron.
So we found ourselves in a glass museum, and we found monkeys. We found a bunch of other animals, too. I only pictured one of them. Again, we have quite a journey to go through.
I have a pin from it.
Quite a journey to go through. Did you get a pin from it?
Yeah, I got a pin
No way.
It has the triangle with the C in it.
Anna collects pins, and I collect coasters, and they were not selling coasters. Unfortunately.
I got a pin. Wait, it's right here. I just have to get it off the board. It is
you did? Yeah, look at that.
Collectors Inc. National Cambridge Collectors Inc. Apparently,
Cambridge Glassworks.
wait, I got this.
Glassworks.
Apparently, they used to mark the Cambridge glass with this symbol, but the older ladies were like, "This is ruining my dining experience. We can't have."
Hold on, let me get out of view so it focuses.
Is it focusing here?
No, it is not. Bring it back. Bring it back now, y'all. There it is. One hop this time. Oh wait, the people on the mobile screen can't see it. Check it. There you go. Look at it. Look at it. So if you see a glass with this particular symbol on it, you know it was made in Cambridge.
I don't know why that was important.
Back to the photos. Check out this monkey. Don't tug that monkey. That's inappropriate.
Okay.
Brad says, I am really hoping the blue thing is Gatorade and chartreuse. Oh,
no, it's not.
Do you want to officially ask about it?
It's Snowdrake's mother.
I was gonna make a game out of it. I didn't want to spoil it. I was gonna be like, do you remember Undertale? What Undertale creature could be lurking in my freezer that's blue? Yeah, it's Snowdrake's mother. It's an adios motherfucker cocktail that was partially ice clarified. And I add a little bit of salt in the rim because it kind of tastes like a margarita.
Clicker.
It's not bad. Clicker? One who clicks? Next one. What are we doing?
Oh, we also went to this mall and we found this place called Nani. Yeah. And I'm very upset because there was like nothing good there for me. Because I like shoujo manga. And it was all mainstream shonen, which means it's all marketed towards guys.
Language.
Yeah. What?
Instead of throwing things off the thing, I'm just gonna use a slide whistle instead.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
It's a smart idea. That's
yeah.
the language whistle.
Though we did discover in the same mall, there is a bar that was themed to anime.
Oh my god.
So we need to go back there again.
They wouldn't let me stop at the anime bar.
Yeah,
I wanted to get a Sailor Moon cocktail.
We were busy.
I did not get a Sailor Moon
next
cocktail. I was driving.
There was that too. So we have to plan that for
Let me
next
put
year.
my hat back on. If you click the you want control?
I
C?
like
Click
clicky things.
You gotta go up to the you see the little thing over there? Arrow. Side
Arrow
2.
button.
You got it.
Oh,
And then
this
Gen
is
Con
when
kind of
we're
began.
here.
I don't
Yeah.
have any. I couldn't find any pictures of day 1, unfortunately.
Day 1 was in the cosplay.
Yeah, like Jack and Skelly.
You were the one that took all the photos.
I couldn't find one. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry because if you're
It's for
really
Halloween.
if you're really remiss to see the first day 1 of Gen Con, big board game convention, we cosplayed as Jack Skellington and Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I couldn't find a picture of it. Stick around till Halloween. Jack might come back and visit again.
He probably will.
Stop, the show must go on.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Gen Con is awesome.
I have to find it.
Yara Daisy no Jojo Maga says Eddie. What are you referring to? If that's a JoJo reference, just wait, it gets better.
Wait. I got
Just
it.
wait, they get better.
Why did they get better?
Anna, you can just hold it up to the camera.
I don't trust that.
That's okay. Well, now I gotta switch the thing for the mobile people. This is our outfit.
This way? That way.
Hi, it's my face.
There we go.
They were really good costumes. So Anna,
This is the trial run.
So,
I still need to fix that.
take a moment to appreciate that outfit. The pants and the jacket that you see that have white strips all down the side of them. Every single one of those white strips were hand sewed by Anna with white yarn.
hours.
It took her hours not only to put the suit together, but also Sally's dress, which is quilted together, was also done not hand wise, but you use a sewing machine for part of it.
And then
But all different pieces into
Yeah.
a dress.
And there's way too many materials on
I
there.
just
It's
think
not
that's freaking
fun.
incredible.
The materials are evil.
Anna's
Don't do that.
cosplay does not get enough credit, so she's got an Instagram.
I'm still supposed to put that up so that I can post it on the share thing.
I think if you do ! Cosplay, I want to say there's a link to the Instagram. It's CALROSI_cosplay, and that's on Instagram. Calrosi.
Because that was our ship name.
Calrosi. It's great. Sebastian's with an X is saying, I still don't know if The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie or a Halloween
It
movie.
depends on who you ask.
Yes!
Because like some people are like, no, it's too
Yes.
Halloween-y for me, and other people are like, nah, this is perfect.
I think we can
Christmas.
safely call it a Tim Burton movie and just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
I
Because
think
I
all
could
Tim
just watch
Burton
it
movies
anytime.
are both like Christmas movies and Halloween movies at the same time.
Yeah.
It just transcends
No,
the holidays.
I don't think that's actually how that
It could
works.
also be considered a Thanksgiving movie. Although I think people would argue more heavily on that.
I don't.
But it was great. 80 confirms it was a JoJo reference, which is perfect.
I love
We'll get
JoJo.
there. We'll get there.
Did we get to JoJo?
There will be a JoJo reference.
Is there?
There will be a JoJo reference. Just watch this next picture. It's still just me drinking out of a bottle.
That's not a JoJo reference.
It's not a JoJo reference.
That's just you drinking beer that someone else brought
What
back.
were the highlights from day 1 of Gen Con?
Day 1, we dressed up. I got exhausted at a Japanese panel. What did we do after that?
As I say, that was the furthest farther. That was the furthest
That was
far
like
back.
the weird. So usually
of the thing.
we volunteered on the first day before, and so we were volunteering on the second day this year. I think we'd go back to volunteering on the first day. First day is a little like it was sensory overload. There were so many people there in the sense of like I'm like, wow, why are people here? Why are people like being polite
You
but not
taking center
polite?
stage. You talk.
While we're walking through.
I'll just stand over here. Awkward lift.
Okay, goodbye, Cameron.
I'll heckle
So
you.
I don't know. It was.
I love you. I love you.
There was, I think we spent a lot of it in the dealer's room, but the thing is we still didn't stop, which is kind of funny because we were like, oh, we really should stop in the dealer's room and actually do dealer things. And now we're just sitting here like, it's like, oh, so we didn't really do that.
To give you kind of a lay of the land of Gen Con, there is a very, very large dealer's room. There are a variety of different breakout panel rooms for panels for D&D, other tabletops, for board games in general, for mental health, for small creators and stuff. I went to a couple of them actually, because I fall into at least a number of the different categories,
Yeah.
including the mental health category.
I
And you
went
do
to
too.
one cosplay panel, but it ended up being on Saturday.
Cosplay panels
Saturday.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the panels I went to this year were more smaller, and they weren't the ones that I'm used to or I like the ones in the bigger section because they're usually more vetted, in my own opinion. Not that they did anything wrong or did a bad job. I think it's just like what I want out of things. is like I'm not necessarily a beginner creator on cosplay, but like I don't want to join a community for it.
Anna
Unless
is
I find
amazing
it
with
myself.
cosplay, and she is currently trying to find community.
No, I'm not. Actually.
Just kidding. She's
I
not
just
trying
like
to find
doing it
community.
myself, and I like
She
seeing how other people
loves-
do it. So that means I like when
loves
there's
cosplay.
visuals, and I've learned that some of the smaller rooms don't have visuals. So I've learned that if I'm gonna go in one of the smaller rooms, I should not go there.
80 asks, did you count the panels?
How many panels, or like
I want to say we went to like maybe like
The
half a
first
dozen
day?
total. Maybe like 7 or 8 between the two of us.
I think so. We skipped Tai Chi again.
Let's see, which panels did you go to? You went
The
to a
cosplay.
cosplay panel,
The Japanese one.
Japanese panel,
There were 2 more on the first day.
2 more panels that we went to. I know
We went to
count
2 on
yours.
Fridays.
Count yours, because
No,
I
I'm
went
counting
to,
all of them.
okay,
This
okay.
just makes my life
Because
easier.
I went to 2 content creation
more.
panels. One of them didn't technically happen, so there
Sorry,
was technically only one.
this
And then I
is-
went to a second one.
6. We were on that for that was Friday. How many did we do Excuse me. I think there were 2 on
I
Saturday.
can't remember.
And then we hit up 1 on Did we go in on Sunday?
I don't know.
I don't think we
I
hit.
think
So 8.
personally, I think the best part of the trip, because I'm realizing I think it's been a while. I feel like we're struggling to figure out what we did on each individual day. The bulk of what we do at Gen Con,
We
or
hang out
at least
with
the
people.
reason why we go to Gen Con is because we've made a number of friends over at Gen Con that we see year after year. I think this was our 4th or 5th year at Gen Con.
This is our 4th
This is our
year.
4th year attending
Second
Gen
year
Con.
volunteering, 4th year attending. Technically, we
volunteer-
went the first year was theoretically online
Yeah.
that I went to.
We volunteer with a group called Board Crunch.
Board
It is, for
Crunch.
lack of a better term, a board gaming community run by a couple of
Yeah.
our now really close friends. So
Yeah.
we volunteered in the outfit that you see before you. Again, couldn't seem to find a really good photo of you in the Pac-Man.
We never find a good photo
Pac-Man
of me
dress.
in the Pac-Man dress.
I'm wearing a Pac-Man suit. Anna's wearing a Pac-Man skirt.
Yeah.
Pac-woman skirt.
No, it's a Pac-Man.
There's no Pac lady on
There's
it.
no Pac-woman.
No Miss Pac-Man.
No.
Rather
No,
unfortunate.
it's the same thing, but in a skirt. And Cameron was like, I should wear the skirt this year. And I'm like, go ahead, do
I
it.
didn't wear the skirt.
And then Cameron did not wear
I
the skirt,
chickened
and I
out.
was disappointed by him.
Chickened out. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe we'll switch pants. I'd like pants, actually. I think I would prefer pants at this point.
Anna, you're getting the question of sewing stream when?
Do I have to?
No.
I don't know. I think I could see myself doing something like a crocheting stream, but sewing, I'm back and forth, and I'm in 3 different rooms to do that because you have the
people are
large
asking, babe.
kitchen
People are
where
asking.
I have to like set everything up, then I have to pin it, then I move it into the bedroom, double check that the pins are secured because if they're not, Cameron finds them with his feet.
It's true.
And then
It's true. It's true. Brad says, perfectly plaid
Then I
party
have to
hat
sew them.
incentive. Cameron in a Pac-Man dress. You wouldn't even be able to see. You can't even tell if I'm wearing pants. I am wearing pants.
I don't know. We could do there are a bunch of things that I do that are easier to watch that are not sewing.
It's a lot of
Like I want to learn how to use the Cricut for like Christmas presents because I want to do like little name things or cutesy stuff.
So let's see.
Oh,
In addition to this little slideshow that we've got here, I'm gonna go
did
back
that
to
one
the
already.
regular angle a little
we already
bit.
own Heroes
Because
of Arcadia.
we've got a little stack of coasters because I
Cameron
collect coasters
collects
and
coasters.
spirits, so we can also catalog our journey based off of the coasters that have been put in order. Board game. Another board game.
That isn't out yet.
There were a number of various different tables that we stopped at,
This
and
one
the
looks
exhibitor
cool.
hall, around the exhibitor hall, inside of the dealer's room.
This
and
one's still being
the
tested.
one that I really vibe with the most was this independent game
Pilsner.
developer creating a game called Pilsner, A Drink to the Past.
It's
It's a
all,
Legend of Zelda reference.
Yeah, it's all referencing
with
Zelda.
beer. And I was like, this looks so
it's
cool.
referencing video games, and it also references different
I
types
cannot
of
for
beers
the
and how
life
you
of
would mix
me-
them. And theoretically, I think it's still in development and it's in its earlier stages, but it has enough of the
Ethereum-
art.
Ethereum Games. That's EPHYREAN Games. Ethereum Games. And this guy's done
Wait, this one's cuter.
this one that's not out yet. Other
He had
games.
like 2 others. I think he was demoing
There was one that was Space Invaders themed, I'm pretty sure, but it was a board game. So naturally, I really vibe with this guy because he was making board games inspired by video games, and I was like, yo, I make cocktails inspired by video games, and you're really cool, and I think your content is
And
really
then he
cool.
added like alcohol to it. So
Yeah. And then he added beer on top of it, and I was like, boy, I loved it. It was really, really
Yeah.
cool. I think, was that
That
What else do we have for Gen Con?
I don't
Do we have
know.
any more
Do
photos
you
of
have
Gen
other
Con?
ones? Oh,
there we go.
Oh my god, we went to the anime concert.
There we go.
On the same day we did
we're
platelets.
We're getting there.
Oh, we're there.
We're getting there.
So platelets is the easy one. It's really simple. I literally just dyed clothing so that we'd have it, and then we 3D printed most of the other stuff. And I did basic sewing for bags.
Oh yeah.
Easy cosplay. I did that like
this
last
was day 3 or day 4.
This was day 3.
Day 3.
Because we took it to the anime concert.
Because we went to, as Anna has said
I was
already,
like, we really need to just dress up for this anime concert.
we went to an anime concert.
Dude, Spirit Bomb the bomb. Wait, do you have the? Oh, you have the sticker on your desk.
Oh, it was great. Do I have a sticker on my desk?
You do.
Yeah, the shirt.
I have. It's in the laundry.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, put that in front of the camera.
This
So,
is like my new obsession.
The band we saw was epic. We saw live performances of anime openings, endings, and songs, and I freaking loved it. Some of my favorites, they did Evangelion. Of course they did Evangelion.
Oh my god, I love that whole intro.
They did, like...
Sailor Moon.
They did Sailor Moon.
And like the dub and the sub.
And also did like a screamo rendition of like the Dragon, Here Comes the Dragon Ball Z.
That one's on Spotify if you want to listen to that one.
Find Spirit Bomb on Spotify.
Oh my god.
Their concerts are freaking amazing. They're apparently from the area that we went to, Indianapolis. So if you're local to Indianapolis,
did they do One Piece?
You can go see. Did they do One Piece? I'm pretty sure they did a One Piece one. I think it's the main opening for the first one. I don't recognize it.
I don't think they did. I mean, wait. I'm
relatively
No,
certain.
I only took pictures of shows that I've watched, and I haven't officially watched One Piece, technically. So
yeah.
I know
it was a really cool event.
I can pull up all the ones that I know
really cool.
that I've watched.
It was really awesome. Just the feeling of like you know how sometimes you watch the animes and you feel the animes.
Oh, I have their set list downstairs.
You experience the animes. Like to go to an anime concert is like not just feeling the animes like in your brain or in your eyes or in your butt. You feel it all around you because the bass of the performance and the effort of the, oh my god, I felt it through my body.
We have Full Metal Alchemist. We have
Full Metal
Overlord.
Alchemist, Overlord.
1 second, I have to go through
Those
them
were
all.
some of the other tracks. Please go check out Spirit Bomb on
What is
Spotify.
this one?
They are freaking awesome.
Oh, they have what's his
else do they
face?
Oh, they had Death Note.
No, yes.
They also had Death Note.
What is this one?
I don't know.
It's the one with the sword that everyone hates, but I got back into anime from it. Sword Art Online. There we go.
Oh, Sword Art Online. They also honorable mentions.
JoJo. What the heck is that one? Ooh, it's swishing.
Anna, you're experiencing
they have
something that we as the viewers
I need this in order to tell what's going on.
There was also the opening to Spy Family. They did a ton of different things. FMA or FMA Brotherhood, both.
Yeah, they did.
They did both. They did one from each.
Oh, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Who is that?
So good. So good. Please check out Spirit Bomb on Spotify. Listen to them. Cherish them.
Oh my god, they are so amazing. I love it. Yeah, there's more of the Brotherhood.
Could I also bother a mod to tag this moment in the stream? I want to capture that. I want to tell the world.
Oh, they did their own original songs. Oh, during one of their original songs. So I like older shoujo.
Yeah, they had an
I am trying to figure out older shoujo. Correction. Oh, I had that new manga. So they were like, if anyone can guess what this one is.
So this was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there are I think 4 or 5 members of the band, and I think it was the drummer.
Wait.
The drummer was like, I'm gonna play a thing. I'm gonna put a little thing on the screen. Come up to me after the show. If you can tell me what anime this was from, I'll surprise you with something.
I tried to watch the first episode, couldn't get through it, but there's a movie, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch the movie. It's X1999. I also bought this in Alaska, so this is great.
I have no idea what this is.
It is just known for really big-eyed boys. Like, I don't know. It's fun. I'm entertained.
Do I have big eyes?
No.
Would I fit in X1999?
They also just look cute.
But like,
I have no idea what's going on in this book.
Do you see that?
X.
This is incredibly on brand.
This is my brand.
My brand!
This is mine. This is mine from Alaska.
Oh my god.
But like, I don't know. It's just entertaining.
Who doesn't love a big-eyed boy? Alaska, we're getting there, glorious.
It looks cool. Yeah, but so I knew this because I was like, wait, I know this animation. So I go up to him afterwards. He's like, okay, go to the merch stand. I'm like, I already bought merch. He's like, wait 1 second. And he goes and runs around and finds the 2 set lists. And he's like, here's the set list. It has all of their breaks on it. It has all the songs. It was awesome. Yeah, so that was I lost the mouse.
That was Spirit Bomb.
That was Spirit
sorry,
Bomb.
I keep moving the
them.
mouse over.
How dare you?
That was Spirit Bomb. I have always I love.
I want to see them again.
I love going to
it's
concerts that feature things from my childhood that have been long repressed, but I am now reviving in my elder life. That was one of them.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Oh, there's Dragon Ball. There's Dragon Ball.
Here comes the
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z, and then we went, and then we head home.
Yeah. So
was there any, were there any highlights from Gen Con?
There's a lot.
Nah, Gen Con was lame. Pass.
No, Gen Con is really awesome. It's just like Gen Con there's a lot cool. Though too that goes down.
I'll end the Gen Con segment by saying one of the reasons. There are a number of reasons we keep going back to Gen Con. It's the camaraderie. It's the splendor of being able to be that deep into one of our many passions. Board games happen to be one of them. But also because when you volunteer for like a day, you get a free 4-day pass. So I'm just saying.
And we hang out with people enough.
You can volunteer for True Dungeon, which is like a live action, like a D&D experience. You can volunteer for different tables. You could even join a friend or two of yours, make a game, sign up for a table, and you can get free tickets to the event. It's freaking huge. It's quite the experience. And if you go to Gen Con,
you have to pay for the table.
Yeah, you gotta pay for the table too, but you get free tickets and stuff with it. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
If you're going to Gen Con next year, hit us up, because we'll probably be there.
We will be there. We're also at Board Crunch usually the first day. And then any day after the dealer's room is closed, if we don't have something, we go back and we hang out with them, so.
Brad's saying that is a brave little toaster-looking coffee pot.
So I looked around. So one of the things I
Wait, one more question about Gen Con. Did we play Uno?
We did not play Uno.
Was Gen Con one of the places I found an Uno reverse card on the floor?
No, that was the streets of Philly.
Close enough. Close enough.
Yeah, but so I mean, you probably could play Uno at Gen Con. They do have a classics. They got all the classics.
They got Uno. They got Monopoly. They got Jenga. One of the coolest things that you can do at Gen Con that is also free for like everybody there is among other there's tons of things at Gen Con, but here's two more things that I'm remembering off the top of my head. Balloon costumes. You know, like balloon animals?
So every year they make this big balloony like sculpture.
Humongous balloons.
Yes, it is latex. It is not latex free for anyone that is allergic.
Watch out.
That was something that came up in the Gen Con Discord.
Watch out. There's also a Gen Con Discord. Watch out for the Discord.
I'm not supporting. Okay, whatever. So yeah, they also do. Technically, they do a cosplay parade every year. We just never do it, even though we're dressed up.
Hey, cosplay there too. In addition, there's like an area in the very front of the convention center where you bring like spare cards and stuff, and people build card towns. It has an official name for the card town, and basically what it is people set this up throughout the whole thing, and then there's you'll throw. I think people bid to throw the first coin, and all of the proceeds and all the coins that are thrown to knock down this whole town at the very end of Gen Con is donated to whatever their in the very beginning.
Is of that
it starts out with little like card towers that you build in the cards, little house of cards. Towers,
some of them get
to fortresses, to skyscrapers in the front of the convention center, and at the very end, basically, you knock it all down.
Yeah,
you knock it all down. It's
charity.
really, really cool for charity.
We still need to watch that one year. Yeah.
So now we're at the end of the very first leg of our honeymoon-esque stream hiatus trip. We went to Gen Con. To summarize, we went to Gen Con, one of the biggest board game conventions out there. It might well be the biggest, for all I know.
I think it's number 3.
Possibly.
In the world.
And then we started driving back. We drove all the way there, and we started driving all the way back.
So I don't like sitting for more than 2 hours at a time, which means I have to find pit stops every 2.5 hours. So Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has a bunch of those old road signs. Like it has old road stops, like roadside attractions. There are so many weird things.
Attractions on the streets of Pennsylvania.
So I found the coffee pot.
We drove by the coffee pot. We drove by. Was there anything else on here? No, there was not.
No, that is Alaska.
We're not yet on to the next
Canada.
Part of our adventure.
Yeah.
That was the first part of our adventure.
But yeah, so I find those things, and that's what we stop at. If we don't stop at a distillery, antique shop, any weird, like anything that I can find that is entertaining. What are you doing?
I'm moving it that way so it doesn't poke my eye.
What?
Uh-oh. Birthday's over. Sorry, y'all. 80 saying it was a very that they went snorkeling. Very fun and fed the fish bread. Is that kind of like seagulls, where if you give them bread, they bring their entire family and also the next 3 neighborhoods and try to just defraud you?
Okay, so skipping ahead to Canada, they have signs everywhere that if you feed the animals, you are indirectly harming the animals. So it is considered animal cruelty to feed wild animals.
It's a very interesting thing. I'd never seen it articulated
wow.
that way. In Vancouver, Canada. This is one of my 4 coasters that I bought in Vancouver, Canada.
You bought a lot.
It was pretty good.
We've discovered. So this is us getting to the, what is that? That's the airport.
So now let's move.
Fly into Canada.
We're gonna move to the next part of our honeymoon. We fly into Canada. Flying into Canada was great. We got there
very
late.
easy.
The Airbnb was a bit of a
hassle to get into, but they fixed it really fast.
Has anybody ever gone to a 24/7 7-Eleven only to find that the 7-Eleven is not in fact 24/7?
It's closed.
It's even better when they keep your Airbnb keys inside of the now closed 24/7 7-Eleven in the middle of downtown Vancouver.
When you have no cell reception or service. Or anything. Yeah, it was great.
Wild.
It was fun.
Don't dox yourself. It's just downtown. Vancouver's a big place, dog. I'm sure there's more 24/7 7-Elevens. If there's not, oops. Anyways.
Yeah, so we go there. We fly in. There's totem poles like everywhere.
Flying to Vancouver. The
cool.
first couple days of Vancouver are actually quite nice. We find our way around on day 1 to Granville Island, which is one of the like neighboring islands overlooking like Vancouver, and it is beautiful.
Yeah. So if you look over that way, that is more downtown Vancouver.
That's downtown Vancouver. We're at Granville.
Granville,
we're on
Granville.
Marketplace. There was like an open air market over there, or not necessarily open air.
There was a market. There was
Reminds me of Reading Terminal here in Philadelphia.
Art district. There was a full, I don't know. There was distilleries. There was a soccery.
We basically walked. I think it was a total of 30 something miles in Vancouver over the course of our trip.
So we walked 13 miles the first day. In order to get there, there was a bypass because the bridge that would have taken you there was out or something. So it was an indirect path that took us an extra mile or something. And then instead of taking that all the way back, we decided to walk around the peninsula to get back to the downtown of Vancouver.
It was great. We walked 13 miles on day 1. Can you guess what we did on day 2? Well, you can think about that because we actually continued along. One of the places that we stopped on Granville Island was a place called the Liberty Distillery.
Cameron started talking to so many people.
I did a little bit of a
They signed our Jenga block.
I did a flight of Endeavor. Their gin options, they have
their vodka. Options. They have a distilled vodka made out of oats, and I'm very upset that we didn't go back for it because it was really, really cool.
There's a story behind that.
It's really good.
Before we get there, would you like to try the Liberty Distillery gin?
I don't want that one.
You don't have to.
I already tried that one.
So
you're gonna open it?
One of the things that they get you with Disney cruises is that
you cannot bring alcohol.
You can't bring hard alcohol on board. You can bring some wine.
You can bring 2 bottles of wine or 2 6-packs of beer, but you cannot bring any spirits.
Michael says no hard spirits.
So basically, there is a potential that they will hold it for you, but they cannot guarantee that. So technically, they did hold one of our nibs. The other one Cameron drank beforehand.
It's true. But I will get there. I literally have the bottles right here.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Cameron bought 2 little nibs because he was like, worst comes to worst, they take it away. It's okay. It's fine. Because we're not going back.
Can I talk about my gin bottles?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm the alcohol guy. I'm the local alcoholic between the 2 of us. I see Gloria's asking, did y'all try ketchup chips? No, we did not. Did not see any ketchup chips, actually. But we did try onion yogurt chips, and they were actually very tasty.
You did like those.
They were very, very good. What are you doing down there?
I'm hiding. You want the alcohol.
This is not how alcohol usually works in this house, by the way, at this bar. So, from the Liberty Distillery, we tried a number of their different spirits. We tried their oat-based vodka, which was super smooth and honestly kind of tasted like yogurt to me. Probably the most flavor I've ever experienced in a vodka before. We tried their 2 different Endeavor gins. One is just a regular gin. I drank all of it before we actually got on the cruise ship, so I have none left. I have none left. These bottles do not seal.
They're just cute.
They do not go back together, so once you open this, you cannot close it. It's very unfortunate, actually. I see. And then we brought back this little...
So this was the other gin.
Old Tom. They have an Old Tom aged gin, which if we go back to that photo over there from the other angle, says... What does that actually say over there? The Old Tom Gin, that's the one all the way on the right-hand side, is a traditional, can I zoom in on that? A barrel-aged, fruit-flavored, mahogany-colored gin with a rich, intense nose, a pronounced spicy fruitcake character with notes of juniper, highlighted by mint, orange blossom, and mulberry, intertwined with French oak.
Are you gonna actually open it?
So here's the funny thing about this particular gin bottle. So you can't actually, it's very difficult to open this. I realized when I was trying to open this in our little Vancouver Airbnb that it's impossible to do without a knife and potentially like wire cutters. This thing, because it does not open one way, it also doesn't open the other way either. Like it does not, like I literally can't get this thing off. Would you like to talk about some more of Vancouver while I try to?
Are you actually gonna drink that?
I want to try it. I have resealable bottles here at the apartment.
Oh, okay,
pretty awesome. Estrella, welcome in.
Welcome, babe.
Welcome in. Let me try to.
Did in fact. I'm trying to
open this. I'm trying to open this.
Whoa, King Charles is now on your money.
What is that? Is on our money now. My mom gave me a loonie with his face on it. No way! Who's Charles?
Wait. Is it like an older version of him, like now, or is it like the younger version of him, like before he was old? I don't know. I feel like that's a question that should be asked.
That's over in England, yeah?
Yes, that is England. That's because the Queen died. Sorry. Oh, I'm not being impolite. Yes.
The Queen died.
Him old now, yes.
The Queen died. That's just a
cool.
fact.
That now connected that was the answer to my question that I just asked.
Oh, there we go. Found him.
So Cameron's doing that.
This is what you have to do to open up one of these nips. Like, I'm gonna do this very carefully. You gotta go in with it. You just gotta commit it. Gotta commit to it. Gotta commit to it.
Cameron, I'm concerned.
You gotta commit to it. In order to open up this nip.
I'm so concerned.
You just gotta commit to it. And then once you get all the way around,
how did you open
I really wish I could have asked them while we were there how to open these things, or have known that you couldn't open it when you got it. Maybe that's just how Canada does. There we go. It's off. I did it. The wire cutters helped.
Wow. That's painful.
Yeah, I hope there's no metal shards in my thing now. I might have to straighten that out before I pour it.
Hey Cameron, guess what?
What's up?
This one does not seal as well. I thought it would seal.
It wasn't gonna seal. It wasn't gonna seal. Unit. Thank you so much. What did we miss? Hi, welcome to the Explorer. Hi, Australia. Huh. What's going on, dude?
What?
When did the Queen die? No idea. 2 years ago? I do love that Canada appreciates the sovereign. That's fair.
We still have Canadian coins. Yeah, it did have the Queen on there.
I'm not gonna do all of this. I'm not an alcoholic or something. Gee whiz. Yo, shout out to all my alcoholics out there. It'll get better. It smells like gin.
It is gin.
Yeah, I gotta get used to the alcohol. I haven't stuck my face in alcohol in a hot minute. Excuse me.
What the heck?
It's all part of the process. It actually kind of smells like cola. Like a little bit of sassafras. What were they saying on the tasting notes? I'm not gonna cheat. What am I talking about?
I don't remember anymore.
It's like a little minty on the nose, and it kind of smells like more Pepsi than Coca-Cola, to be honest.
Okay, Brad. Okay.
It is very minty.
Minty?
It's got like a minty note to it.
No.
Notes of like I'm getting those notes of like. I gotta think about this for a second. Tell us more about Canada.
Oh, am I skipping out of the Liberty Distillery?
I'll just suffice to say that the Liberty Distillery is very, very innovative with their spirits. They use, I think, what's called a restorative still, where it's basically a combination of a copper still and some column stills put together to fit into their very small location. I conversed with one of the bartenders there at length about cocktail mixology and the distillation process and stuff, and we got a little tour of the distillery. They hadn't done tours in a while, but we got a little private tour.
Cameron was like, "Can I look at it?" And they were like, "Yeah, come in here." And then they give him like a half-hour like lecture on it, and I'm just sitting there like, they're talking about the still thing. And of course, Cameron's there the day that the mixologist, like the brewer, what is it? The distillery master person that wasn't brewing.
Still master?
The still master? I don't know.
Still master?
Yeah.
The distiller?
Yeah.
Distillation
guy.
Distillation bra?
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
I'll close out my tasting notes on that gin as being like sweeter than some other gins, like more full on flavors of like a little bit of vanilla, like a slight vanilla. I'm talking like vanilla extract, like vanilla, and like spruce or pine. It's got tree notes to it. I can't tell the difference between spruce and pine as of yet, but I'm getting there.
Okay. So after that, I know there was the Sakri Winery, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
It was not okay. So like after having like this full on like experience with the what is this called?
Let me see if I got any pictures of the sake winery.
I don't think so. Probably not.
Let me see. I don't think I had any pictures of that, unfortunately.
There's the still.
I just have more pictures of the distillery.
Yeah, the distillery was a lot.
That's
there was
the
a lot.
still, by
It
the
was
way.
awesome. It was great.
That's you drinking a cocktail.
There was my limoncello.
What'd you have?
I had a house-made limoncello.
Come.
So they use their regular vodka, not the oat vodka, but they use that, and they literally just put lime rinds in it for a certain amount of time.
So
and sugar.
Of note, the spirits of note from the Liberty Distillery were their Old Tom Gin, which is their mahogany colored aged gin. They have their Endeavor Gin, which is a very, very clean gin. It doesn't try to hide the forestedness to it. It's just very, very clean. And then the oat vodka, which I think was their premium vodka.
It was their small batch premium.
Yeah, that was really,
so good.
Really.
I'm very upset that we did not try to go back.
Yeah, so one of the things...
Now that we've come back and I've reflected enough on
because you can't bring large bottles onto the cruise ship, they were only selling this premium vodka in larger bottles, and we couldn't have brought it on the ship with us, and we didn't have like a place that we could store it in the interim. So we were like, oh, maybe if we have some time on the way back, we'll stop by. We did not, and they do not ship out of Canada. So just in case anybody finds oat vodka from the Liberty Distillery out there, I will pay you handsomely. To smuggle it to America.
Let's not do that.
Don't smuggle things to America.
You can just report.
Instead, go walk around the parks. Day 2, Vancouver.
Day 2, we did about a 17-mile walk around Stanley Park, which is the upper part of downtown Vancouver.
As we make our way to the park, I just want to continue to acknowledge chat because this is a live stream after all. We're putting on a show here, and we love everybody who walks in and decides to say something. Hi.
Hi.
Estrella was saying,
we've traveled 800 years into the future.
800 years? Did not travel 800 years.
Oh, dang it. It's a good thing that I checked that.
It's been 800 years. It's okay.
No, we didn't do that.
Listen, Estrella, wherever you find yourself in life, you can come back here 2 years from now, and I hope to be able to recognize
It'll probably be different in some upgraded form. It'll definitely
be different, but just even if you leave for a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months, or even a couple years, you are more than welcome to come back to the Bar WithAnX, whether it's been, a fortnight, 30 fortnights, or 60 fortnights. It doesn't really matter to me. You'll always be welcome back here. Brad's talking about hockey, and 80 says, I don't want to ruin my sleep schedule. Goodbye.
Good night.
80, it has been an absolute pleasure. If what you're saying is true, then we'll catch you on the flip side.
Tevin, Michael, Dylan,
it's been a pleasure being
Bella,
your bartender.
and I all say hello.
Hello from apartment 71. Hello, BC.
And good night.
BC and the lads. BC. Good night to all y'all. We're almost an hour into the stream.
Oh, what?
We're not even on the cruise yet.
No, we haven't. We stayed in Vancouver for like 3 days, and then we had a full day afterwards that we did not utilize the full day.
Yeah. So what did we do on day 2?
We went to Stanley Park, and there was a brewery up there. So we stopped there early in the morning, I think. No,
17 miles that day.
Yes.
We walked all the way around Stanley Park.
Stanley Park has like a bunch of like smaller trails inward towards more like foresty areas, and then you have the whole coast, which you can walk around. So basically, we went in and out of the foresty areas into along the coast, and then up and back and up. So we went up to the top point, which was like a lookouts point. We went down to the front. We went to the gardens that were there. There was an aquarium there. We walked into the gift shop. I did not walk into the rest of it. There were totem poles. They had like smaller things. There's a 9 o'clock cannon that goes off every day at 9 o'clock. They have the small lighthouse I think it's retired.
They got a bridge.
They have the Lions Bridge, which is a very large bridge that gets out of downtown Vancouver. I don't know if I think Stanley Park is considered its own thing. I don't know if it's considered a national park because this is Canada, and I did not think about that.
I'll also note that at the point of Stanley Park, you can purchase fish and chips, a single dish for about $30.
That was $30.
30 Canadian dollars.
It was very good fish and chips.
Might I say, by the way, that being an American in Canada is awesome because everything effectively has a 25% discount because of the conversion rate. Work that body, shoulder squeezes.
Oh, okay.
Let's get it.
god.
Indeed, indeed.
Doing great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so we did that.
Yeah, of note, the thing that you see pictured over here is Stanley Park Brewing in the middle of the park. They brew some beers and stuff. And there wasn't anything that I would particularly reminisce on, I think, at Stanley Park Brewing. They had some very clean lagers. They had a nice, I think it was a summertime IPA that was actually quite tasty.
I think I had pretzels there.
There was one. Oh, I do remember one of them. It's not pictured here, but it is, I think it was called like the Meteor Crush. Like the meteor,
they did a
meteor
spritz
smash
with one of their brews.
It was really cool. The meteor smash saison or something. I cannot remember what beer type it was, but it had a meteor on the thing on it. It was really tasty. It was kind of like a sour beer, but it was more tart kind of sour, something that I could really appreciate. And it had heavy notes of, I think, apricot. I think at the time, I've been wrong before, but that was really tasty. And I saw them pouring the sour beer into a spritz type cocktail that they topped off with either club soda, and there might have been a little bit of prosecco or cava or something. It was cool looking.
That one wasn't bad.
I did not taste the cocktail because we were going to be walking for the next like 3 hours that day, and I just like we need to be hydrated.
Yeah. So we went out to the totem poles, which is a whole section there.
Oh yeah. There are a bunch of totem poles. Did you mention the aquarium?
Yeah, the aquarium was right before the totem poles. Yeah. We only went into there because, like, on our mini moon, we already saw an aquarium, and I didn't feel like paying $100 to go in to go see another one.
The aquarium didn't pique our interest.
Well, there was so much else to do on that island.
There were so many more trees to look at.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot of trees.
Oh, and then when we walked around, we found the entrance sign to Vancouver outside of Stanley Park.
Did you know that Vancouver was home to the 2010 Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Now you do.
We also found the torch there. Do you have that on here? I don't think you have that.
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't know if Mario or Sonic made it to Vancouver.
I don't.
Did Mario or Sonic make it to Canada?
I don't know.
I best not.
Yeah. So that was most of day 2.
Dwell on that.
Day 2 in Canada.
Yeah, day 3 in Canada was just kind of a place to rest up a little bit.
This is day 3.
But we did
so we went to another distillery that is owned by a husband and wife. They were not there. I think it's considered a microbrewery, micro
distillery.
Yeah, so they don't distill a lot, and as the bartender put it, like they kind of have their own main jobs. They have, I think, 3 kids and everything. So this is more of like their side hobby, like their kind of fun project.
So it's okay. We don't need to dox the owners.
So you could just look it up. What was this one?
That's fair. This was I don't remember the name of this distiller, to be honest. I don't have
Long Table Distillery.
Long Table. Yeah. We also stopped at the Long Table Distillery. I cannot remember which one it is. They did. Yeah. They often do. So their still was a very similar setup to the Liberty Distillery. Yeah. They had like a copper still that went into like I think a single column or so. What caught my eye about this place was a bottle of aquavit that they were selling. I've never tasted an aquavit before. It is a type of spirit. I want to say it's Scandinavian in origin, and it is primarily flavored with things like caraway seeds, which are it's very, very licoricey off the nose, and a little fennel-like too. It reminded me a lot of the oitso that I have, and it really reminded me of absinthe when I tried it, so I didn't want to take the bottle home. I honestly
liked it a lot more than their vodka, which says a lot, because I don't like licorice, and I think it had like almost a palatable taste in comparison to absinthe, which is where...
Definitely less potent on flavor than absinthe, much more mixable in cocktails if you wanted to use it.
Yes.
In certain cocktails. I see Emmy E popping and saying, hey guys, hi Emily. Vancouver, says Estrella. I don't know what the context of that is.
I don't know, but it works.
But it's fair. The 2010 Olympics, they had giant inflatable beavers that said Canada.
That's great.
Is beaver a slur?
No.
I don't know. I feel like it could be. It sounds like that.
And so for our last night,
this was the
location that we were supposed to go to like multiple nights in a row. So like technically I did my research. There are multiple Michelin star restaurants in Vancouver. Sorry, my watch is telling me that it is time to do my workout.
It's time to go to sleep. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Please don't go.
Oh, okay.
You were basically half the honeymoon.
Yeah. So I did my research. I found a bunch of the Michelin star restaurants. We did like a Moroccan one the first night. Second night, we just went to a dumpling place that was recommended.
The first place we went to, the first Michelin star restaurant was called Moltaqa, Moltaqa, a Moroccan style restaurant that had live belly dancer, and singing
Live
the belly
music.
dancer. Other live music played on almost like a xylophone type instrument, but with strings.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember what you called that. I forgot to
cool.
ask. They had saffron flavored cocktails. They had cocktails that utilized saffron infusions. I think I got their coffee one. I couldn't really appreciate the saffron, to be honest.
Cameron got a duck that was lit on fire.
It was lit on fire. They flambéed my duck. Yeah. They cooked the duck and then they set it on fire to cook it again.
It was great.
It was awesome.
And then I had chicken kebabs, which was like the best seasoned thing ever.
What else did we do? We went out for waffles for breakfast one time at a place called Nero. Nero was great.
It was so much sugar and dairy to the point where I was like, oh, I ate too much here.
Oh, yeah.
It flagged pretty hard. Mm-hmm. It was really good, but it was like, oh, that is dairy.
Yeah. We went to, after the fact... I don't have this pictured, but the breakfast before we got onto the cruise ship that day was at a place that I can't remember the name, but they did really good breakfast. They did mini waffles.
It started with an M. Medina.
Was it like Medina or something?
I don't know. It was on the coffee list that I gave you for good coffees. I cannot remember.
It was voted one of the best coffee places in Vancouver, and it definitely was one of the best coffees I had there.
I don't know. I didn't have coffee.
Oh, actually, that was 2 different locations. That was 2 locations.
Oh, the Palette place?
We went to Palette.
Well, it wasn't called Palette. It was Palette Kitchen. Kitchen Palette. Yeah, that was a different day.
Can I have the marker? Can I have one of the markers, please? Thank you so much. This was interesting. There was a place that was labeled Palette. Pallet, I believe. As we walked away from around the area that we were staying at, and we were eating at a place called Palette.
Kitchen Palette.
Like a palette on your teeth, or like in your mouth. I was under the impression that these 2 places had nothing to do with each other. They had everything to do with each other. It turns out that inside of the Palette kitchen, there was Palette coffee, where they actually roasted it and stuff, which was super cool. Because I thought it was a coincidence, but it absolutely was not. It was wonderful. But in addition to that, after we went to, there was the one place we went to, which was Palette Kitchen. There was another breakfast place we went to that also had really good coffee. I had, I think, a breakfast mimosa there that was absolutely divine. Not pictured anywhere in the photos. But then, for dinner, we went to another Michelin star restaurant called Social Corner, and Social Corner was just lovely.
It was fabulous.
I completely fell in love with their cocktail menu. It was...
They had stuff that I like, which is like sweet, but like complex, because I feel like sweet by itself is boring. So they had a number of different types of spritzes. I think I got the next, so Cameron got this Gibson. You should tell him about the Gibson because you freaked out.
Of the cocktail adventures that we went on this trip, when we went to Social Corner, I had the drink that you see pictured here. This was their take on the Gibson. On the menu, it was labeled as the Gibson, and I was really expecting to get something that was really heavy on those brine notes that I'm really familiar to, something that kind of tasted like onion, but instead, the reason why I ordered it too was it was a Gibson that was made infusing green apples. So I was like, that's interesting. I have never seen a Gibson of that quality before, and this thing tasted like probably the lightest like martini type drink that I have ever had. It was beautiful on the nose. I'm gonna read my tasting notes that I have here, or at least I'm gonna summarize them because this would actually take a while because I did take some very extensive notes on this one.
Cameron had a ball.
I had a ball at this restaurant. I freaking loved it. I'll get there, I promise. So they used a blend of dry vermouths in their Gibson. I tried to get which dry vermouths they combined and what the ratios were, but they did not know what it was. They had to ask their head bartender, who was actually at the sister restaurant, Aquafarina, which we did not find out. We did not have a chance to see, actually. There was absolutely there was absolutely no like smell of vinegar off of this cocktail at all. It didn't smell like onion. It barely even tasted like an onion. It lightly smelled of apple. It was very light on flavor and the drink itself was very floral. It was not sweet, but it had an air of this apple skin oil If apple skin oil is to exist, I have not played around with apples very much before, but if you could extract the oils from an apple skin, that's what this cocktail tasted like. It was delightful. And in addition, that cocktail onion that you see inside of the drink, you'd think it was supposed to be briny. You'd think it was supposed to be vinegar forward. Biting into this onion was like biting into an apple fritter. It was delightful. Like green apple pie was what that onion tasted like, albeit much more crunchy, like significantly more crunchy. It was delightful. It was very, very good. I will move on to the next cocktail over here but I will also take a look at chat because I haven't been looking at it for a while. How y'all doing out there, by the way? I'm gonna come back for just a hot second. Anna's taking just a miniature break off stream for now. I see Estrella saying something in related to Midas from Greek mythology, perhaps? Like the Midas touch. It's very gold-like. Will you ever be able to play Shadows over Loathing? It is in the suggestions bucket. I will try to get to Shadows over Loathing. That's pretty much all that I will say on that. I'd like to, because I really enjoyed the soundtrack. I did listen to the whole thing, but in terms of what we're doing, we're going to stick with Kingdom Hearts for a little while, but I have not forgotten about the suggestion. I promise you, Estrella, on that. Brad's saying that I love Michelin-starred cocktail programs. They were so good. Did you say that what that garnish is? The onion? It was very crunchy. Did it have the right onion crunchy texture? Oh yeah, it was great. But it didn't taste like an onion at all. One time, I want to say it was after one of these streams, I went into the refrigerator and I just ate the entire jar of cocktail onions.
And this is why I need to buy snacks.
It was nothing like that. It just tasted like apples. It was great. Brad says the thing I love about places like this is that things aren't what they look like. They are not. They are not what they look like.
It was good.
It was really good. What was your take on the food? And you also had a cocktail too.
I had two. Actually, I think you have the next one, which is the queen one.
Yeah. Well, I think I might have both of them on here. Do I? Let me check that.
No. Well, that one's your second one, right?
Oh,
There's my queen.
Yeah.
So I had the queen consort, which was it was one that I was testing because I'm like, I liked earthy flavors for a while and then haven't had a cocktail that I really liked that was earthy. And this one was a cucumber earthy. And I think that's what I like. And I was like, oh, let me just try it out. Mm-hmm. It wasn't overly sweet. It's like there was a set amount of sugar and it was like, oh, this is just like to lighten your tongue. And then on top of that, you had a little bit more definition and it was more cucumber and refreshing, which was better.
Yeah.
So I had that, and I think I had a limoncello spritz, but I liked the limoncello at the distillery more than the limoncello there because theirs was way more boozy.
Speaking of cellos, I'll get to that in a moment. I'm just gonna very briefly talk about this cocktail. It was the Peche Penicillin. Ooh, Dark Auditor coming in with the sub? What? Now that's quite the welcome back. Welcome back from the honeymoon. Thank you, Dark.
Welcome back.
In.
I have no idea.
We're on the cocktail segment. We're about not even halfway through our honeymoon story.
We haven't left Canada.
We haven't left Canada yet. Pop a squat, pull up a seat if you'd like to. We've got some more stories coming in your direction. So this was the Peche Penicillin cocktail. I have here, I think I was drunk when I wrote this because
Cameron and I drank more than we thought we did.
Verbatim,
I had 2 drinks.
My notes on the Peche Penicillin at Social Corner in Vancouver, Canada was, I swear to God, I just watched the perfect drink. But oh wait, I remember.
Oh,
I remember.
Cameron, literally this whole time, Cameron's like, I think they're making my drink. I think they're making my drink, and he's watching the bar across from me as I'm watching the people make our pizza.
I need to paint the picture for you. I need to paint the picture for y'all.
I'll leave.
I was we were sat opposite each other at the table, Anna and I had a perfect view of the bar right over in that direction. Just about like if you were Anna, right over there, and I could watch all the cocktails being made at this beautiful, beautiful bar. Please go visit Social Corner. Ask for Benny. Tell Benny, if you find Benny, tell him Cameron says hi. He will have no idea who you're talking about. I promise you that because I didn't meet him. I watched a cocktail being made at the bar. They had a single light over top of what could fit 2 or 3 cocktails, maybe as the bartender is mixing things away. And from a good distance away, because I just got new glasses that I could see from that far, I watch in the perfect lighting a cocktail be poured into a chilled Nick and Nora glass. I see the bartender subtly shake and lightly aerate an Easy Whipper or perhaps some other brand and very daintily create the dollop of egg foam that was on top, which tasted very, very much like peach by the time it got over to my table. And I saw him very lightly spritz it with something all from a good probably 5 to 6 yards away. I don't know what that is in meters. And I was sitting there drooling as I watched this cocktail be made, and I watched it all the way as the servers snaked their way around the tables to put that drink right in front of me. And that's the Pecha Penicillin, which, and I quote, the foam rapidly degrades. It was intentional because that flavor of peach wound up getting into the rest of the drink. The foam is smoky, lemon forward. I feel like I've been in nightclubs that taste like this. It reminded me of cleaning agent, but in the most tasty way possible. Light on flavor with an undertone of smoke that is incredibly intoxicating, not just because it was alcoholic. A very pleasant lemon tone, not sour. It's sweet, almost like a liquid lemon meringue with notes of Johnny Walker smoke. Randall, if you are out there, you would like this one, I think. Unless you're into like sour and stuff, in which case maybe you wouldn't like it very much. I don't know. Yeah. I'm only some people's bartenders. I see Gloria's saying, "Would you play Little Misfortune someday?" I have no idea. Make a suggestion. I've never heard of it. Raleigh says, "Your mom." Thank you. She's a wonderful woman. Let's go back to our drinks. I think that was it for Social Corner. I want to say.
I think that might have been it for Social Corner. I mean, we also had pizza that you cut with a pair of scissors. Awesome.
Also, your words are very kind, Dark. I think you can thank Drunk Cameron there because I'm pretty sure he was the one who wrote that. Oh, here we go! Wait, don't get next. Don't go guess. No, you're spoiling it.
I don't know what's next.
So let's recap where we've been so far, right?
We've been to Canada.
This is a couple, two individuals very much in love, trying to recollect their honeymoon over the course of 30 days. Both of them are drinking. I don't know what you're drinking. What are you drinking? What are you got, Wes?
Hawaiian punch.
And I've got whatever the fuck this is. It's alcoholic, and it was in my freezer. Cool. And possibly a reference to Undertale. So what we did at the very first part of the break was we went to a board game convention. That lasted about 4 days. I worked for a week. We came back for a little bit. I was off the social medias for a while, so if you didn't hear from me during that, because I was trying to relax as much as I can with my job.
Totally wasn't dead.
Heyo. Then we went to Canada, and we spent about 4 days in Vancouver. We visited a number of distilleries. We walked 30 miles on foot, and then we made our way to the real part of the honeymoon, the big part of the honeymoon.
I went on a Disney Alaskan cruise!
We went on a Disney Alaskan cruise, and this is what I found in my bedroom.
Shut up.
I found myself sensually lying on a bed with rose petals and 2 swan towels in my bedroom, and when I saw myself in my bedroom, I was like, what the hell? And then I blinked, and I was the one on the bed, and I was hallucinating the whole time.
Okay, Cameron. Okay. They would do towel pictures every night, which is really funny because one of the people there, it was the juggler. He was like, "Why are none of you taking photos of me? I know you all have pictures of towels on your phone right now." Which was great because it's totally true.
I have no idea how you context switched to this. Very quick context switch. There was a juggler who performed on the boat. Oh, you did say that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I blacked out for a second.
But I was like, yeah, no, that's accurate. But that's all I could think of was like we started with this. We got one every night. I think we got like an elephant. We got a manta ray.
It was great.
It was awesome.
So we cruised on the Disney Wonder. Which was one of the
It is the second. It is the second cruise. It is the second ship that was made. It was made in 1999. It has gone through a couple of renovations, but it's the sister ship to the Disney Magic, which is the first cruise ship. The Disney Wonder, it typically goes to Alaska. It is like the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder are their smallest ships, and so they can go to smaller ports. So the Alaskan ports are obviously smaller overall, and we do go to smaller ports there. But so the Disney Wonder will typically go to Alaska during the Alaskan season, which is I think May to mid-September-ish. It will then transition from Alaska or like Vancouver to Hawaii, and then Hawaii to Australia, and then we'll be in Australia for the off season, or like I guess our winter season. I think it's their summer season then. But so it goes through that. And then it reverses that, goes to Hawaii, and then goes back to Vancouver. So we'll do that throughout the year.
I am not this passionate about Disney, but over the course of this trip, I have become very enthralled by Disney Magic. Because I don't think... I've been on vacation. I've been on vacations and stuff before, but I've never been on something so comforting.
Stay magical!
Stay magical. Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you for dropping the coaster made of wood.
Oh yeah, we should not drop any of the others.
No, that's fine. Yeah, don't drop the ceramic coasters, please don't.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
No, it was great. It was wonderful. Dark is asking, do you both have a favorite Disney character movie?
So my favorite Disney character is probably Tigger from Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
My favorite movie is probably Tarzan. That is the one I rewatch the most.
Phil Collins.
I love Phil Collins.
I like Stitch. Stitch is hilarious.
I love Phil Collins.
But I also like what was that one chicken from Moana?
Hey.
Hey!
I hate you.
I like that. Moana. I think Coco's my favorite Disney movie. That one made me see life in a whole new way.
Oh, that one's good.
A completely new way. It was wonderful.
That one's beautiful.
So what else did we do on our Disney cruise? It was how many days, how many nights?
It was, so technically it's an 8-day cruise. There are 7 nights on it. So you have the disembark day, you have the arrival day, and you have disembarkation day. So technically you have 8 fancy dinners, and the 8th dinner is actually your breakfast right before you leave the cruise.
To give like a quick rundown of like how like at least the Disney Wonder cruise, Alaskan cruise worked. You got onto the boat, you would eat in one of the 3 different restaurants on board every single night at your chosen dinner time. Ours was like, I think 5:45 or 5 o'clock-ish. There's also an 8 o'clock time slot. There are events always happening around the ship. You will be sat with, at least in our case, we were sat with 3 other couples at a set of 2 tables, and we saw the same 3 couples every single night. We had 2 servers, a head server and an assistant server,
And then the main,
and we saw
and then
them.
the top of their...
And then the very top server, who I saw very little of. I did not know he existed until like day 4.
Cameron, he literally talked to us every night.
I forgot about him. Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Well,
he was the reason that we knew what was going on the next night.
I forgot. I really appreciate him. I appreciate him being there, but I completely forgot about his presence.
They have a cabin crew for you, so there's a main guy that will, or main guy or gal.
Cabin crew?
Yeah, so the person that made our room every single day was Sherman.
Oh, yeah.
He was awesome. Loved him.
Let's keep names to a minimum.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In any case, so like you will basically have you will have a server that serves you every night, assistant server serves you every night, a head server serves you every single night. There is somebody who will always take care of your room. They are the ones that are responsible for these beautiful little like towel folding animals.
Yeah.
We got a swans, we got a monkey, we got an elephant, we got what could I could only assume to be a dolphin tail because I could not figure out where the
that's a
mouth
whale
was this thing.
tail.
Whale tail?
Whale tail.
Oh, whale tail.
There are a couple other ones.
Indeed. It was very, very cool. What other photos do we have of the trip?
I don't know. There is a whole section to this cruise.
I'll let you go for this one.
There's a whole section of the cruise, and so we stayed in mostly the 18+ sections of events and everything, other than the Disney character dinings. Sorry, Disney characters. There is no Disney character dining, at least not on this one.
We saw Sorcerer Mickey night 1. I remember that.
Yes, that was in the animated.
I remember that.
Our food rotation is the Animator's Palette. Then we went to Tiana's place, and then we went to Triton's. So the Animator's Palette is a room with no windows, and basically there's a bunch of like screens, and so they do these like detailed sketches, and so you start off with just a sketch, and then they have the sketches going together with a flipbook page, and then they start adding color, and then they start like building off of that. So the whole first night they have a lot of colors on the ceiling, on the walls. There's paintbrushes that look like they're holding up the ceiling on their paintbrush, like the thing that has the paints on it.
Oh yeah.
Those like little palette things.
That's beautiful.
So they have a big show I loved Animator's Palette. That was my favorite. But so like the first night they had a big show where it's like the lights are going, the colors are going, you have all of the animations going through, and then Sorcerer Mickey runs out and he's like cheering, he's like waving to everyone. He was so cool. It was awesome.
Every single server just conga line.
Oh yeah. All of the servers came out and they like did a nice little march and they were like, yes, this is us. Oh yeah. So
and then they came to take dessert orders.
Oh yeah, then we got a dessert.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. When you pay for the Disney cruise, at least when we paid for the Disney cruise, you can eat as much food as you want to. Oh, yeah. There were a couple areas on the ship where you would have to pay extra for certain drinks. In particular, on the Disney Wonder, there was the Cove Lounge for like premium coffee.
So that is an adult lounge for, it's mostly adult.
Yeah. There's a section of the ship that is basically for adults. There's like the coffee cafe. There is a number of different bars. There's that thing like after hours that you see me trying to sip out of.
So the after hours location had Azure was
one bar.
The Cadillac Lounge, which was themed like a Cadillac.
you walk inside and there's a Cadillac beaming at you. You're inside of the Cadillac while also outside of the Cadillac at the same time.
All of the tables were wheels.
They served bright green appletini and very smoky old fashions. They were
and
pretty
that
good.
is where you get the, what are the things?
If you are looking for macarons on board the Disney Wonder,
They are there.
Go to the Cadillac Lounge.
Those are the garnishes to their
Not
cocktails.
macaroons, not the coconut things, which are equally tasty, by the way. Macarons. If you want
different.
free macarons, go to the Cadillac
we can't
Lounge.
guarantee they're free. Typically, they are on top of.
Tell them you want the garnish without the drink. They will not charge you for it.
Yes, they
did not charge you for
They
the
did
macarons.
not, but that's because we're on our honeymoon and
then
they
I felt-
liked us.
Then I felt really bad about just demanding free food for them, so then I ordered a cocktail.
He ordered a very expensive cocktail.
And then I tipped handsomely.
Yeah. And then there was the Crown and Finch, which is the it is the English themed pub. And according to the tour that we had, they were like, yeah, this is not like any other pub because you have multiple different football teams on there and like
Somebody's trying to make a joke.
Yeah. So they were like, yeah, no, because like the one guy from England was like, yeah, no, it would only ever be one because if you try to put up two, people will get into
Who's
an
out in
argument.
England over there? Can somebody in England confirm to me whether or not a pub can be split in terms of their team, like, dedication, allegiance, if you will?
what flags and
because in this Irish pub, or like makeshift Irish pub aboard the Disney Wonder, there was like every sports team there. I didn't look at which ones in particular because I'm not much of a sports ball guy, but they claimed that there was every sports team flag there. And they were like,
From
that
England.
would never happen in a normal Irish pub.
Yeah.
There would be one you go to for Team A, one you go to for Team B, and one you go to for Team Highland. That's the only thing I know about Ireland. There's Highlands and Lowlands, but that actually might be Scotland, come to think of it.
Oh, how do you? Yeah, so the one we hung out the most in was Azure, which was like this underwater themed pub.
Yeah.
Underwater themed bar.
We had a really, really good time at Azure. In particular, I really
Cameron made friends with the bartender.
really hit it off with one of the servers that were there.
Bartender, yes.
Yeah, I need to put another. Sorry, I'm
Did you
trying
fix
to
the
pilot.
thingy?
I'm piloting the stream from below the bar, and I don't have a sticker on the button I need.
Yeah, so it was great. So that was that's
Go
where we
Team
hung
Guinness.
out.
Oh my
We had anything from
Classic bread.
so at Azure there were like piano. There were adult theme. There was the adult.
In terms of the cocktail landscape,
There was
Azure was more your like Azure
kinda your
more
party bar.
limited beer opportunities. There was a lot of events that were happening there. It was very lounge style with a center stage for karaoke, for trivia, for
dueling pianos,
which was freaking amazing.
Oh my god, they did a medley with all the Disney So the thing with them was their stick was like, if our whole show is every recommendation from someone else.
A full request dueling piano show.
Oh my
Every
God,
single song
that's
you requested, they got through the entire list.
Yep.
They transitioned more or less perfectly
Old
before
MacDonald
all
Had
of
a
them.
Farm was played at the 18 plus event.
It was awesome.
I
was
loved
awesome.
it.
There were some 18 plus events that happen on the cruise. Like, for example, there's 18 plus karaoke. There were 18 plus event versions of dueling pianos. There was 18 plus trivia, other game shows and stuff.
Yeah. That's mostly where we hung out. We didn't really do the family bars or anything. They had like they had a lot of crafts if you wanted to do that in like one of the, I think it's at it was at French Corner, which is technically the family friendly bar.
Yeah.
For the
most part, the after hours location was kind of the place that I really...
That's where we hung out.
I vibed with. Usually I'm the kind of guy who, when I vacation, I sit by the pool, which was impossible because it was so freaking cold out because we were in...
Alaska!
International
I went
waters.
down the water!
Correction, international
Shut
waters.
up, I went down the water slide.
But then we
Second
went to
day.
Alaska.
It was bad.
It was great.
It was so cold. Don't go down the water slide. I mean, do go down the water slide.
Do go down the water slide.
Yes. Just know you will freeze the second time.
I protected you, by the way, because I did not include a picture of you going down the water slide. I got this. I have this perfect clip. This perfect loop of Anna going down the slide, and then down the slide, and then down the slide, and then down the slide. It was awesome. She's in a swimsuit. I'm not showing you that. She's mine.
That's weird. Why would you say things like that?
You're also your own woman, by the
Thank
way.
you.
Yes,
Okay.
you're welcome.
With the clicky button. I want to show more pictures.
More pictures? Dueling pianos, says Estrella? I didn't know they like to fight. Dude, it was wild to see both pianos get up with swords and whatnot.
Oh my god.
And then the humans piloting them, it was wild.
Stop going that way. Oh, okay. So like technically the next day, so there was one day, so there was the deportation day. That was arrival day. Then day 2 was a sea day, so you're completely on the ocean for that day. You're just doing whatever. And day 3 is Glacier Day. So Glacier Day is also was that their Frozen theme day? That was their Frozen theme day. No.
I think what happened on the ship is they really tried to do as much Frozen themed stuff as they possibly
did it for
could.
one day. So one day is Frozen theme day, and that's Glacier Day, because like they do a little Frozen celebration at the end. They did like a themed like there's a tradition somewhere in Alaska where you like basically ribbon pull. You ribbon dance around.
I don't have that pictured. You're right.
No,
you're right.
But I danced around the ribbon thing, and we had to go over and under, and it was hilarious to watch some of the adults look at me like, it was the funniest thing ever to be in the middle of that.
Have you ever braided someone's hair before?
Yeah, think of that.
Imagine
but like 20
for
of
a
us.
moment, it is
10 of us.
10-piece braid weave. And instead of you using all 10 of your fingers to very intricately weave in perfect over-under fashion somebody's hair, it's like that, except instead of fingers, it's people. Instead of hair, it's ribbon. And instead of a head, it's a large wooden pole.
Yeah, so like they had little events. They had some of the kids go up. They had some of the adults go up. And it was like just kind of cutesy there. But the rest of Glacier Day is like all of the characters. So everyone at the Disney cruises, I believe the characters have their own unique outfits. The Alaskan cruise has a very distinctive outfits because they're all dressed up in different kind of gears. So one of those would be things like Goofy is dressed up to go mountain climbing. So he has his goggles, he has this white outfit.
Oh yeah, we got
all of them. So that's the other
all of the
big
characters are pictured here. It's great.
Yeah.
Every single one of them had their own outfit.
Yeah, so behind us is like the mountains of Alaska, which was
This is actually
awesome.
Alaska now,
This
despite
is
the
cool.
fact being on, I guess, international
I have
waters.
no idea how that works. Don't ask me. Don't ask me.
I'm not a geographist.
Yeah, no.
This is Minnie!
Minnie Mouse was great. That was,
She's wearing a little parka.
Yeah, I love her outfit.
She looked very cozy. I think
I don't know, Minnie Mouse was not like, so we matched Donald and Daisy.
We're like lumberjacks.
Yeah, so if you go through, there's Pluto. You can't really see his collar, but he has like a nice embroidery and everything, and I think it says Alaska on one side.
Really
he kept joking around with us too, which was hilarious, which is why we're laughing.
As dogs do.
Where's the other ones?
Well, this is in chronological order.
Oh, what?
Actually, I guess
we'll
this
come
is
back
just
to
what
that
the photo
one.
was timed.
There we go. There's Donald Duck.
Donald.
That's not
That's
it.
also us.
There's Mickey Mouse.
There's Mickey.
He's in
Mickey's
he's a fishing outfit.
He's fishing.
He's in a fishing outfit.
He's fishing.
And there's Daisy. Yeah. I think that's all of them. Yeah, so we'll go back.
That was all the different characters and stuff.
So if you go for Glacier
awesome.
Day, like there is the glacier behind us. You can kind of see it.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like just off in the distance. It was kind of chilly. It was windy and chilly because I think we were that close.
I thought Alaska was going to be bitter cold.
It was not bitter cold.
Alaska, when we were there, was not as cold as I thought it was going to be. It was, dare I say, temperate for what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
There were some days that it was rainy a little bit.
So Alaska typically rains, and we were very fortunate that we had, like, I think 3 days of no rain.
It was
at all.
Good. Very sunny.
It was great.
Very sunny.
And they, like the cruise director was like, yeah, so you guys should stick around.
I actually have a question for you.
Yes.
Would you consider this to be a national parka or a local parka?
What do you mean?
Australia's asking. Is this like a national park or a local park? Is this the kind of park that my taxes pay for, or the kind of like park that I guess my taxes also pay for?
I think it's national.
National?
Yeah, we'll go with national. It's a really cute outfit.
National.
I like it.
We're going to national.
I like it. Yeah.
National feels good.
Yeah.
If not for the fact that it's closer to Nashville than we... No, never mind. Nope. Nashville is in Tennessee. We are closer to Nashville right now than we were in Alaska.
Whatever.
Joke dead.
Yeah, it died.
What else? Did you want to spend time on this one?
Yeah, so Cameron drank alcohol.
Let's take a moment to talk about the various different restaurants that were on.
All right, so we talked about the first night at the Animator's Palette.
There were 3 restaurants.
The second one was Tiana's Palace, which Tiana would come out. They had a whole like jazz band and everything, and then they had Lewis with the trumpet and stuff. So they would dance up and down.
I had a picture of that too, and I completely forgot.
So the first night was like kind of just the band being out, and the second time they had a whole conga line that had everyone like running around. They had us all like in a parade kind of style. It was really cutesy. It was really fun. The second night of the Animator's Palace, they had us draw little cartoon characters of ourselves or whatever. So I immediately was like, so can I do multiple? Because our partners that like our buddy groups were not there.
A piece of paper that they gave us. They like draw your character within the lines, and when you did, the characters would dance. It would
dance throughout like the Disney scenes. So the one that I remember the most was like the Be Our Guest. They took out all the plates and stuff, and they put in the little characters in the side dancing around, like twirling and stuff.
That was really cool.
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
We have those downstairs. And then the last location was Triton's, which was just kind of themed towards Ariel. This is the Disney Wonder, which is themed towards the Little Mermaid. She is in the middle of the atrium. It's also kind of obvious that it's one of the older ships because there's a lot more fully immersive like
the walls
styles.
were peeling.
No, it was not.
The floors were off-white.
No, it was not.
They were actually carpeted. I'm just being a
You're being rude.
dingus.
Yeah, so it was that one had that one had like the best seafood I think overall, but that makes sense because it was like themed.
What, Triton's?
Yeah.
Can you imagine an entire movie based off of the civilization of under the sea creatures and a restaurant that specifically eats you?
Yeah.
You, this undersea creatures.
It was great. Yeah.
It was delightful. We ate snails. It was great.
We did eat that.
Not an under the sea creature, might I add.
I don't know. It associates with under the sea.
That's gotta go. Is the Little Mermaid French or just like English in general? Me neither.
Don't ask me.
I'll say there were three main restaurants. There was Animator's Palette, which was food, good food, but food.
Oh, my favorite.
There was Tiana's, which was also food, but like more kind of Louisiana style. I'm not a culinary guy, so I can't articulate on this very much. Animator's Palette was cool because you had screens that were showcasing animations. You had the characters being drawn, you had scenes from all of your favorite movies, and you also had that one bit at the end where you could draw your own character and it would dance along the walls. Tiana's place was really cool because the lighting was very beautiful. It was very like extravagant. There was a giant chandelier. You had a live band, a 3 or 4 piece, I think like kind of New Orleans style jazz band.
It was a jazz band
with a honky tonk piano. You had a tall upright bass, and the singer was also playing the cajon beneath him. Yeah. Like a percussion instrument with the hole in it. It looks like a box. Yeah. And then Tiana, the princess, walk around.
She did sing here and there.
And she would sing every once in a while.
I think she sang one song for each night.
It was cool.
Which made sense.
And then a crocodile came out, or an alligator came out and played the trumpet.
Lewis.
Is it a crocodile or an alligator?
I don't remember.
It's one of the ones.
I can't tell
It's one of the ones. And then there was Triton's, which was like it had a mural and wine.
It was cute.
And that was kind of it.
It was loosely themed, which makes sense. Like you can't over-index everything. I guess.
I'll kind of say there was one thing that I really appreciated about. I'll make like a very slight comment on the cocktail menus aboard the Disney Wonder. There is a cocktail menu that is more or less the same depending on which restaurant you go into, with slight variations depending on whether they were doing like a Frozen themed night or otherwise. The cocktails were kind of more what I would call to be mixed drinks with some interesting flavor combinations that were kind of like brought up between the mix.
I think the people that are going onto a Disney cruise are not typically there for the alcohol because they're not included.
I mean, speak for yourself, my guy.
All right, okay. Well, so most of the people I talked to were not there for the alcohol because it's not included.
There were a couple of drinks that caught my eye as a self-proclaimed cocktail mixologist. There was one old-fashioned that was served in the Cadillac Lounge that featured a bottle of Johnny Walker that I'd never heard of before. It was not like one of the black, blue, or red labels. It was some other designation that I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. It was very good old-fashioned. There were a couple other combinations that you'd see on the ship in terms of the mixed drinks that they had, whether it be fancy fruit that they garnished it with in one case of one of the fizzy cocktails that they had. There was a combo with port wine with, I think it was like cranberry juice or something that I had never tried before that I thought kind of piqued my attention. And there was one apparatus that I saw in 2 different bars, in the Cadillac Lounge and the French Quarter Lounge, which was, I don't know what you call it, but it looks like this. There's a reservoir at the top where you put ice. It goes down into a small little tube, and then it goes into either the spiral comes first.
There's the loopy loop.
Does the loop come first?
And then it drops into
loopy loops.
Yeah.
Stupid. Bad marker. I have a different marker. Good marker. It loopy loops down into, oh, that's much better. Check that out. It goes down into another chamber that contains something. In
And then
one
it
case
would,
it was
like,
coffee
drip into the
beans,
thing.
in one case it was fruit, in one case it was something else, and then it would collect in a little, like, Chemex type container below.
Yeah.
What this was doing all day long on each of the French Quarter Bar and the Cadillac Lounge and also the Cove Cafe, but it did it for something differently, was infusing. In the Cove Cafe, it was creating cold brew all day long. The ice would melt. It would go down here. Oh, actually, this piece was definitely on the bottom. I remember now.
Never mind.
Swap these. Swap those around. In the Cove Cafe, the ice water would melt. It would go into coffee grounds, which would then kind of almost percolate in a way and spiral down and pop into a container, which they could pour you fresh cold brew coffee. In the lounges, they were making an infused Negroni, which I did not, unfortunately, have a chance to taste. I don't know what it was infused with. I just know when I pointed at the funny glass-looking thing and said, "What's in that?" They said, "Oh, that's a Negroni." Luckily, I know what a Negroni is. Equal parts gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth. What was in the container? No freaking clue. If they ran out, like if you go to either one of these bars, the French Quarter,
When they
the
ran
Cadillac,
out of it for whatever reason, it was off
it was gone.
there.
If you don't see an apparatus like this, it either means it's too early, go back to your room, do some fun stuff before you start drinking ya hog, or they ran out or something. R.I.P. the infused Negroni. It's true. It's very, very sad.
So those are the food locations.
Yeah. Other than that, there were not as many like really like out there cocktail stuff that I can reminisce on in terms of what we saw on the Disney Wonder. It's a family cruise. It's a family cruise. They're gonna give you things that look pretty, and they're gonna put Frangelico in your espresso martini because that's Disney magic.
Don't ask me.
I
don't know.
No. This
I
was
still don't
my
understand
way
why
trying
this
to
was
give
a
you
big-
air to go on to whatever is next.
I don't know.
That's
Oh,
my
you're
face.
drinking
Oh,
alcohol.
I also tasted some rums.
Yes.
They had a rum flight at Tiana's place.
the first night.
There was a Bayou rum, Satsuma Bayou rum, which was like a rum-based orange liqueur, and then there was a spiced rum,
Yeah.
which was also very tasty. What spices? I don't know. I got notes of like clove, cardamom, the usual.
Oh, so then
There
we
we go.
went to three.
There we go.
We had 3 port days.
There we go.
The first one was at Icy Strait Point.
Day 4. Day 4 of our 7-day cruise.
Yes.
We got off at our first port, which was Hoonah, Alaska.
No, it was at Icy Strait Point. Hoonah was the other the other side of the island.
The town was. Do you remember what the name of the island was?
It started with a C.
I know it does because there's the ABC Islands, and we were on number C.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Cannot remember what it was.
Ketchikan.
This place was
I don't know.
this place was awesome. Basically,
It was a riot.
you get off the boat and you go down to the little adventure center, and there's a big gondola system, which seems really out of place for an area like this, which seemed relatively under-industrialized. It was an island. So it was an island with a lot of forestation
The population
stuff.
of like what?
Bears.
Oh, well, that's a lot, but yeah.
The population was very low, prices were really expensive, and the population of bears to humans was a ratio of about anywhere between 4 to 6 to 1.
4 to
One
6
being the
bears
humans.
to 1. Depending
one
on who
human.
you asked.
It's true.
Because everyone gave us a slightly different answer.
You go to the top of this mountain via the gondola system, which we got complimentary bands for because we paid for one of the excursions, which was...
We paid for the fish
paid
cooking
for the-
class.
yeah, we paid for the fish
We
cooking
paid for
class.
the wild fish cooking
At the
class.
top of this mountain is this sign. I've had it on the screen for long enough, so feel free to read it.
Bears can kill you! You can die if you get lost.
There was also...
Falling down mountains and off cliffs can kill you. There was
also-
a lot of
Wait a minute,
warnings.
that was the wrong button. Sorry, I was trying to... There was also quicksand.
Oh yeah,
Allegedly.
do not leave the boardwalk. There were a lot of warning
Don't
signs.
step off the trail.
There was also a lot of like bear education, which
step
was
off
kind
the
of
trail.
funny because, well, it's not funny in the sense of like there are a lot of bears out there.
Bears are hilarious.
Yeah,
Have you ever
there's
told a joke to one? Neither of us.
There's just a lot of bears.
Don't tell jokes to bears.
So lots of bears.
Instead, what you're supposed to do when you see a grizzly bear, if you want to survive, is you
Look down at the ground.
do not look it in the eyes.
Do not do that.
Look down at the ground, get big,
Make growling noises.
and make growling noises.
And back away slowly. The dominant bear is the one that
important
backs
part
away.
here is to back away slowly. Do not make eye contact. Growl like a and back away
For
slowly.
some reason in bear culture, the one that moves away is the one that is not frightened to death to not move away.
Notes. In human culture, the dominant one is the one who makes the most money. In bear culture, the dominant one is the one who does not make eye contact and backs away. Don't make eye contact.
Yeah.
Stop making eye contact.
So it was very big. They were like, yeah, no, this is a very big thing. Like, they had a lot of bear education at every port.
I think my
that
favorite,
and salmon education. They
my
gave us a
favorite
lot on the
part
salmon.
about the hike at the top of the mountain at the Icy Strait Point was seeing this kid there who was there on a summer job. Apparently, if you want to make money, work in Alaska in the summer. They have a variety of different programs to get more people to work in Alaska. So Alaska's hiring. If you need a job, Alaska is hiring.
According to the chef.
There's this kid up there, and I call him a kid because he was definitely a kid of some sorts, under the age of majority or whatever, just holding this freaking rifle bigger than this keyblade.
It's for the bears.
Sitting on a park bench, just up at the top of the mountain, just chilling.
He has guns.
And I was like, hey man, are those for the bears? And he's like, yep. You ever shoot a bear? Nope. Have you ever fired that rifle? Only warning shots. That seems pretty awesome. How long do they keep you up here? 9 to 10 hours. Do you get a lot of thinking up here? Yep. What are you thinking about? Gonna go back to college. Gonna go to college. I don't remember if it was back to college or to college.
It's back to college. I think he was a sophomore.
Back to college or to college. And I was like, well, you have a pleasant day. Use that rifle well. Yeah. Kid was real nice. Super nice. I did not do it justice. It was so wonderful. It was so wonderful.
Yeah, so that was...
Bears have money, says Annie?
So you had...
No. Yeah, so
Cameron decided he wanted the bear ones, which I still don't understand.
Check this out. I got myself
so, like, after we go on, like, the trails, we had our cooking class, which we cooked halibut and salmon.
It was wonderful. We got to cook actual meat.
Then we took a little bus over to Huna, had a mini, here's the place tour kind of on the mini bus. And then they told us about, then we walked back, which was like only a mile and a half. And Cameron decided to start forging many things.
One of my favorite parts about being a born and raised, dare I say, a survivalist, is I see berries. I want to eat those berries.
Yes.
I want to forge those berries and chat when I tell you that I tasted berries. You gotta believe me when I say they weren't poisonous. You have to.
Didn't die.
I'm here to tell you the story.
Neither of us died yet.
So I bought this little local Alaska's Wild Berries and Berry-like
Checks
Fruit
with like
book,
3 different people.
and I am flipping through this. It tells you about poisonous berries. It tells you about non-poisonous berries of various different colors, whether they are white, black. There were no brown ones, but there were blue ones and red ones as well. What we were able to taste on the adventure was some thimbleberry, which you could actually pick right off the bushes over there. Some huckleberry, as well as some blueberry. I'm pretty sure we found salmonberry too, which we actually have.
We could not confirm that one.
We have a jam of. We took it home with us, which apparently you're not supposed to do.
Thimbleberry?
Across the border.
No, we're fine because it's a jam. It's not an actual.
Is it a product?
If you took the berry.
Is it a product of plants?
Is it a berry?
I'm not. You know what? I'm not a customs agent. I'm not gonna dox you for that. This is a thimbleberry. Fine. You got to try one of these. Pretty cool. Yeah. Kind of looks like a raspberry.
That was my favorite of the berries. Pretty cool. We also had a huckleberry.
Glorious asks, did you eat whale-flavored ice cream in Alaska? I think they heavily discouraged whale hunting. Or at least they did in Canada. There was a whole monument dedicated to whaling or the excessive activity thereof in Vancouver. Yes. So we didn't see anything that was advertised as being like a whale-based product. There was an exceeding amount of fish bait products.
There were a lot of salmons.
Lots of salmons. We took home some canned salmon with us. We also have this salmonberry, which is not at all derived from fish in the least bit. Yeah. Would you like to take a little sample of the salmonberry jam? Would you mind handing me a spoon and the bucket if you don't mind?
Where's the spoon?
I'll got you.
Where's the bucket?
Bucket's over there. Actually, let me get the smaller spoon.
I don't want any. Thank you.
No problem. You don't have to. I like tasting things. This is the good stuff.
Have I ever had ketchup flavored?
Who was asking that earlier? Glorious. Were you asking that there too? I think it might have been Glorious. I think. No, we've never had ketchup flavored chips before.
We had yogurt flavored chips.
I saw yogurt and sweet onion flavored chips in Canada. I did not see ketchup flavored chips. And before you ask, yes, I did have poutine, but we'll get to that later on.
That's the very end.
So, This is jam that was derived from salmonberry, and I took it home with me. You ever smell cat food before? It like mildly smells like cat food. Okay, next question. Have you ever had one of those those rocket ice pops?
Yes.
Have you ever tasted specifically the red part?
Yes.
It's kind of like that. Mildly berry-like, all red berries, a little strawberry-like without the tartness, a little gooseberry-like in terms of the kind of like snottiness. I don't know how else to describe that flavor. And overall very sticky. Very sticky texture. But that's probably because it's a jam. Yeah. It's the illegal salmonberry jam. Listen, I am not a customs agent, totally but I think anything derived from animals or plants are prohibited to be brought across the border.
What is
now,
this one?
Did I do it? Yes. Are you gonna find me? No.
This one smells funny.
Also, you got no proof. Maybe I just got it from somebody who followed me. Anyways.
Why did you just throw that? What are you gonna do with this?
Oh, that's a good point. The other thing I picked up was apparently, I won't dwell too much on the forageables of Alaska because the list is many and I tried at least a couple of them. But the other thing that we picked up was this wild fireweed syrup. Fireweed is a plant that grows very, very close to the ground in Alaska, and it blooms only during a very slim portion of the year.
But it blooms a lot.
But it blooms a lot, and it blooms everywhere,
Which
very
is why
so
it's
briefly.
Called fireweed,
it has this
because
beautiful.
It shows up like forest fires, fast and out of nowhere.
And it's got this beautiful pink color to it. And I also picked up some syrup over here. I'll throw this out to the crowd too. Like, if anybody knows what fireweed syrup tastes like, would you like to try some? Have you ever had fireweed, salmonberry, thimbleberry, or any of this other Alaska stuff? What'd you think of it?
That tastes funny.
Tastes funny.
It just tastes funny.
That's fair. Is it like a sweet funny? It's syrup. I hope it is sweet.
It's like, I can't tell you. It tastes like an off strawberry. Like someone screwed up my strawberry drink.
Oh yeah. This one, like a lot more heavy on those notes of strawberry. Dare I even say, instead of going down that red fruit map, if you will, of raspberry, it's kind of going in a different direction. If you could make like an apple sweeter and less tart, it's kind of that. It's got strawberry notes to it. It does have like an odd tang that's a little metallic to me, to be honest. So let's call it minerally. It's minerally, strawberry-y, almost apple-like.
Yeah.
In a way. That's pretty good. While we were on our little adventure, I mixed this with a little gin and tonic from whatever I had left from... Actually, I think I just put this with tonic water because I didn't have any gin.
But you had tonic.
I didn't find the gin. So I mixed this with a little bit of tonic water. It was very, very tasty. I was meaning to try this in a coffee, but I have been saving this for this stream to share it with y'all, so I haven't combined it with my cold brew yet, but I plan to. The cold brew, by the way, for this, at least this month, is a Palette Coffee, because it was the best coffee in Vancouver, if you mind. Estrella asks, if you put jam in an oyster, would it make a pearl jam? It certainly would jam, but it wouldn't jam as hard as Pearl Jam. You know, Catch My Jam? You know what I'm jamming about? It's a band. Anyways, that was at least part of Alaska. Let's move on, shall we?
So that was the first place.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Come on over, Red Rover. What else are we doing in Huna?
Oh, there's Huna.
Huna!
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Huna is they got bears, but also, too, they describe to us thus. Huna is an island, or the town of Huna is on an island, and islands are very expensive. Yeah. Very, very small town. I'll talk just a little bit about the excursion we went on where we were cooking some salmon. We learned, it reminded me a lot of how I usually run my show, where you get to learn how to make a cocktail, but unless you have the ingredients on your own, you're just watching a guy make a drink while talking to himself or talking to the people. It was kind of funny actually to watch. It was exactly like that, except it was salmon dip instead. And the guy was significantly more attractive than I am, personally speaking.
I would not say that.
Thank you. Allegedly, our chef basically
He moved to Alaska 12 years ago.
with his
And so for the first 3 months, they decided to buy everything. And then they were like, this is freaking expensive. So now they forage everything. So he described each one of the salmons as a different type of food.
Oh!
So he's like, yeah, the pinky is basically like the chicken here. But you describe it based off of your hand, which is everywhere.
So if you want to remember, we learned this from the Alaskan people, which were just people, they're Americans.
They were people in Alaska. Like,
to figure out the salmon types, take a look at your hand. You see that thumb over there? That's the chub. And I mean that in every sense of the word. Chub salmon, right? See this pointer finger? This is the pointer finger that you would poke someone's eye out. This is the sockeye salmon. You have your middle finger, which happens to be the biggest finger on your hand. That is the king salmon. And if you try to order that at a restaurant, you can, put one of your fingers up, choose which finger wisely. Your ring finger, the one that usually holds your silver rings on them, are the silver salmon. And then your pinky finger is exactly that, the pink salmons, which I think, were they just called pinkies?
They were called pinkies.
Your little pinky salmons. I think I got a picture of a salmon in here somewhere that's of the pink color. I'm pretty sure. I see Gloria saying the green is legal here. Guess you didn't try the green in Canada? Yeah. I mean, I didn't try it while I was in Canada, but I mean, from my recollection, I don't assume the Canadian cannabis is any different, significantly speaking, from the American cannabis. What I will mention, though, that I thought was really, really funny is, we'll get to this part in the story later, but we drove back from Canada. We did not fly back from Canada. And on the way back to the States, there were large signs everywhere saying, don't bring cannabis. Don't bring over cannabis. It's illegal in the United States, federally speaking. So I thought that was funny. Did I bring any back to me with me? I'm not telling you that.
No, we didn't.
I'm not telling you that.
We didn't.
I'm not going to tell you.
Cameron, you can tell them the truth. We didn't.
I will tell you the truth. I'm not telling you. I will not. Anna might tell you, though. In any case.
Anna already did tell them.
Yeah. So we basically spent a bit of time in one of the 3 different ports. To kind of give you an idea of where we're at right now, because we're rounding about the 2-hour mark of the stream so far, Anna and I went on our honeymoon. She has been using all the energy left in her system to kind of help me recollect the story over here, which I greatly appreciate. Do you need more water? Have you been drinking your water?
Tired.
That's okay. Take as many breaks as you'd like to.
Cool. This is a long day.
It's a very long day. This was like, she did a lot of work and stuff today. I greatly appreciate her taking the time out of her schedule to join not only me, but also the rest of y'all as well. It's great. It's been a fun time so far. We're just about at the end of day 4, which was port number 1 of our Alaskan cruise adventure.
We had a seaport, which was Glacier Day.
Technically, we had a seaport, which was technically Glacier Day. Moving on from the icy Strait Point, we made our way over to Juneau, Alaska, the capital of Alaska. And it was great. Alaska was actually beautiful. I have not seen views of majestic mountains and forests and waterfalls and other geological structures since my days across the sea over in, I think Austria was the most beautiful country that I've been to personally. To all the Austrians out there, thank you for your country. Thank you for your country. Alaska was great. I'm an American. What else am I supposed to do? I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. By the way, Raven, I see you popping in. How you doing? Giving a little rendition of our honeymoon over here. It's been too long. I missed all of y'all. So in Juneau, we decided to go on the excursion of the deluxe tour. And the deluxe tour of Juneau involved getting on a bus and driving to a glacier. I don't know if I have a picture of the glacier specifically, do I? I do. That's the glacier.
That's another glacier.
That's one of the glaciers. It's not the glacier that we saw on the cruise. It was a different glacier.
Oh.
This is, I think, the Mendenhall Glacier. And the other one was like the something Hawes Glacier. And this is a waterfall and a picture of Anna looking absolutely awesome.
Okay. It's just a waterfall.
Anna doesn't appreciate pictures of herself. It's fair. There's one of the pink salmons that we got to see.
Yeah, this was one
in
of the
river.
first few salmons that we saw.
Nice.
I think it was the pink and the cockeye, the sockeye.
Yeah, you can tell it's pink because it's the color. If you're colorblind, I'm sorry. It's still pink.
Yeah.
Or red at the very least.
So we went down, I think, 2 hiking trails, and it was the one that got us closest to the glacier, and then the salmon trail.
It was very cool. So we basically did a whole walking trail. We also went up a mountain in Juneu. We came back to the town in Juneu. We'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself over here. We saw the salmon hatchery, which we tried salmon jerky at, which was pretty good. And
Tasted bad.
And then, tasted bad?
I didn't like salmon jerky.
Oh, I really like the salmon jerky.
I also don't really like salmon that much. So, like,
That's
we
okay.
did the salmon cooking class, and I was like, oh, this is really good because I'm hungry. And then, like, the next night, I ate Cameron's salmon, and I was like, I'm so done with fish now.
I think
I am not a fish person.
Personally.
I like the halibut a lot better.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, in addition to the various different walks around and trams around Juneu that we went to, of course, because
I did my research prior, and I found that there were a distillery at the second two stops.
I gotta give credit where credit is due. Whenever it comes to planning trips and stuff, I only make it out to distilleries, breweries, and local, like, flora, fauna, and other tourist traps because of Anna.
I like to plan everything in advance. So basically, the first day on the Disney cruise was kind of really chaotic because you don't get access to the actual itinerary, except for, like, so your excursions you get access to. You have to sign up for them in advance. But I didn't get access to any of the other, like, activities on the ship until day one, which means I'm freaking out trying to understand this whole entire thing. So by day two, halfway through, I was like, oh, actually, I know exactly where we're going. We're going to see these characters. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Based around also acknowledging that we already have these excursions we're going on, and during those excursion times we have the port times, so this is how long we're going to stay in port, this is what I want to budget in time wise. So while Cameron went to this distillery and started talking to the bartender person, I went to the manga shop that was right next door, which is great.
I didn't take a picture of the manga shop, but I did.
I will go get my other 3 books.
I did take a picture of the distillery. So in Juneu, there is a distillery. And that distillery is called Amalga Distillery. They have also a still that is mostly, it looks like it's just a copper still, but they create a number of different spirits there, including the aptly appropriately named Juneuper Gin. For those of you who may not be initiated in the world of gin and various other spirits and whatnot, gin, I want to say by rule, although people can do whatever the heck they want to, has to include some proportion of juniper berry in them. And the capital of Alaska is Juneu. Juneuper, Juneu, Alaska. And that's what they named their gin over here. I would give you tasting notes on what the gin tasted like when I remembered it, but I literally have it right here.
Would you like some help?
Thank you. Do you have anything else you'd like to say about Juneu while I struggle opening the bottle?
Okay, so I bought 4 books from the manga section.
Yeah, you went to the manga shop.
I got Queen's Quality.
Yeah!
I have no idea what Flowers and Bees is.
Budget manga store?
Yeah, dude, these were all $1. And then I got Some Days Dreamer Spellbound. I'm like, this one looks interesting. I have no idea what this is. But like this one has a very similar style to one of the Joseis I really, really like. So I was like, okay, we can try that out. Queen Quality, I've been recommended so many times. This is book 8. I think it has up to book 9. So I was like, why is this only $1? This is crazy. And then there was X $19.99, which I was like, yes, this is where we're at.
Super good deal on manga. You're absolutely right.
I wanted to buy more, but I realized that we had to somehow fit under 50 pounds in each bag, and that was not going to happen if I bought more manga.
Attempting to fly back from Canada was a struggle, including the fact that, you know, we had our bags to worry about and whatnot, which was annoying. That's the only coaster remaining. I'm not gonna get to that one yet. So we stopped at Amalga Distillery. They created a Juneuper Gin. They also created it was a whiskey spirit that I'm pretty sure I took notes on, and I am trying to remember what the notes were. But I have them over here. If I look up Amalga, I've been taking all of my notes on Google Notes. There's nothing matching in my notes. Really? Really? Let me check one second. I'm trying to look in my notes. I don't see anything in my notes. Did I really not? Oh, here they are. They're on my other account. There we go. Amalga. So they had 2 different spirits that I saw there. One was a single malt made Alaska whiskey, which was only available in the state. And what was interesting about this one was that it was created using chocolate malt. When I tasted this whiskey, I swear I was like sipping like like a cookie, like a spiced cookie. It had that level of baking spice quality to it, almost as if it could have been like a spiced spirit, but it was not. I did ask the bartender what the mash bill of the whiskey was, and I didn't get numbers on it, nor what all of the different cereal grains that went into it were. But most notably, she had told me that the mash bill does indeed include cereal. I'm trying to say this right. Chocolate malt, which is some cereal grain that has been malted, which means it was left to germinate at least for a little bit. Chocolate. I don't know what chocolate malt means. I'm sure that there are home brewers and whatnot out there who would know a lot better than I would. If you know what chocolate malt is or know like what that is usually used for, please by all means let me know or educate me on it, because I'm getting very, very interested in the various different grains out there, because if you didn't hear already, we've started brewing things on our own here at the Bar WithAnX. What I'm interested mostly in is giving this Juneuper Gin another try. Gonna get myself accustomed to it for a moment. I see Functional saying, y'all are so cute, ooh woo. I know she is. What? She's even cuter when she's on camera, wouldn't we say so, lads? Yeah, I'm trying not to be weird. I was trying to be comedic. I take that back. Anyways, Brad saying, I kind of want a cookie liqueur. It was so good. I did not pick that one up.
So which one?
The single malt that they were serving at Amalga. That one's really good. I would definitely, so like I will admit, I grabbed the Juneuper because I really loved the pun. And they also sold them in small containers that I could take back onto the ship with me. Actually, hold up, that's not true. I'm gonna catch myself on that. You could, at this point, we could purchase large bottles of liquor. You had a certain amount of liquor that you were able to bring onto the ship per day, and I think that was a total of 2 bottles per person. I didn't come near that amount. But let me go back to this Juneuper Gin because I completely forgot to.
Because of how much you can bring into Canada legally, you can only bring 1.5 liters into Canada, and then you can only take 1.5 liters out of Canada. So we were below that, but it would be per person. So per person that is legally able to drink.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. The Juneuper Gin, it's very, very light. It's very, it tastes like other London dries that I've had before, although I will admit I am not an authority on that. It reminds me of other gins that I've had. What was in particular about this one is that it's made from all locally sourced botanicals.
Also batch 149, and you can tell they wrote it in.
It's true.
I think it was
batch
like
149.
it was in where? Not Boston.
Juneu?
No.
Juneu?
No.
Juneu? You don't know?
In Maryland.
You don't know?
Baltimore. The Baltimore Spirit Co. was like, yeah, be careful with the batch numbers. If they have it printed on, they probably don't always change it. So now every time I check them, I'm like, is it written on? And if it's written on, I believe it.
At least what the rest of the bottle says. Alaska Blend Juneuper Gin, limited edition. Drink in WithAnX and taste the soul of Alaska. Botanicals as local as we are. Spruce tips and Devil's Club, plucked from our rainforests. Rhubarb from our gardens. Foraged herbs from our trails. Dive into our glacier-fed waters and savor nature at its wildest. Amalga Distillery, a spirit most adventurous. AmalgaDistillery.com. Government warning. 1. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic I'm really happy she took it away from me. Compared to other gins that I've had, it's a little more potent on flavor, it's a little more fuller on flavor, and there's a note of like, I'm gonna call it a very vague savoriness that reminds me of celery, at least in terms of my palate. There was of notes in there, rhubarb, there was Devil's Club. Devil's Club is one of the local like fauna that grows on like the forest floor of the rainforests in Africa, oh my god, Alaska. There are rainforests in Africa too, by the way.
Africa.
I bless the rains down in Alaska. Anyways, it's very nice. I like it. I like it very much.
Okay.
Let's put it off the side. Let's go back to the pictures.
Cool.
That's Amalga Distillery. That's Amalga. You see it. You did it.
Oopsies.
Come over here.
Oh my god. Ah! We're in Juneu! Yes.
I like you so much.
Please stop touching my face like that. It's weird.
Yes, ma'am. I will stop.
Oop, where's the button? So
That's
we went
Juneu.
there. Yeah, that's the city
There
of
was a-
Alaska, right there.
There was a map in the center of the boardwalk that they had
you
there
have that one on here?
mapped out. No,
No, you did not.
It mapped it out in nails how far you were away from your home city. We were over 3,500 miles away. What's that in kilometers?
Don't ask me.
Alexa, what is 3,500 miles in kilometers? Wait, no, never mind. It was kilometers. Alexa, what is 3,500 kilometers in miles? Oh, like 1,000?
It was actually in miles. We were in the U.S.
Oh shit, you're right. It was in miles because we were in America. Alexa, what is 3,500 miles in kilometers?
3,500 miles is about 5,600 kilometers.
5,600 kilometers. That's how far away from home we were.
Ketchikan.
That's what we got.
Oopsies. Wait 1 second. I have to go back.
So then,
We went to Ketchikan.
the final port of our adventure
Ketchikan.
was Ketchikan.
I'll go get the
The salmon capital of the world. Ketchikan was great because we decided to, the first thing we did, the one thing that we paid money for to do ahead of time in Ketchikan was go see a Lumberjack show.
Here's our Lumberjacks.
I love I love the Lumberjack show.
So we liked him, but we were not on his team, sadly. We had this guy.
Check
and
these
this
guys
guy
out.
As our team, and then it was this guy. It was
Check
that
these
guy
guys out.
and that guy. Yes, and she was our
Good
host.
looking.
Yeah, so they were.
And the lady. There was and singular lady.
Yes.
I think
she
the
was
men
our
were more
host.
attractive.
She's right there.
I'm just kidding. We don't objectify people. They were all beautiful.
So basically, the Lumberjack show. Wait 1 second. It says at the beginning of this thing. So
It was a really good
it's
show.
based off of. It's on the site of the old Ketchikan.
Come.
spruce mill.
The people can't hear you. The people
The
can't hear you.
mill at one time was the largest spruce producing
Come,
mill
please,
in the world.
into the microphone.
During its history, it provided timber for the 1898 gold rush
back
and
now.
America's fishing
A little bit
cannery.
softer now.
The mill flourished during World War II, producing spoon. Blah, 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 blah. Mill was active until 1970s when the supply and demand forced it to shut down for good. Basically, the Lumberjack show kind of played on the whole. There was a rivalry between Ketchikan Spruce Mill and what was it, like Cedar Point Mill, which is the Canadian lumber field or something.
Yeah.
So basically, both of them, they were within 50 miles of each other, but they were the two biggest wood mill lumber mills of the world.
Spruce Mills and Dawson Creek.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
So
those are the two sides.
so those were like the two largest ones in the world within 50 miles of each other, one in Canada and one in Alaska. So it was like they came up with the Lumberjack show to compete with each other.
So these two teams, this Lumberjack show consisted of our MC,
my
the
favorite
person in the white buffalo plaid in the center, with two Lumberjacks on either side. The folks on the American side, on side one, left-hand side, were the Americans from the Spruce Mill camp, and they were wearing the kind of hard hats and wielding, what was it, axes in this particular picture over
there's
here.
always axes.
On the right-hand side, two side, are the folks from Canada, from Dawson Creek, and they basically went head-to-head doing a variety of different lumberjacking
Ethan.
challenges together.
There we go. There's Ethan. I found pictures of him.
Ethan's cool. Ethan was my favorite.
Yeah,
The
we
dude
were
with
on the wrong
glasses.
side.
The dude with the glasses. We were on the Canadian side.
We were on the Canadian side. And there was so they
I like
encouraged heckling, which was hilarious during the show.
Yeah, this was one of those shows where, like, they, in the very beginning, were just like, you can feel free to boo, cheer, or whatever for
So we
either
had this
team you
one
want
guy
to.
behind us who was very aggressively heckling the entire time. And so they would give out, like, for the top, the biggest fans or something. So at one point he heckles the American side. And so they're like, you know what, man, you really deserve this. And so the guy goes up with they would hand out a postcard with with their name sign and everything, their autographs on the back.
If you cheered the loudest during one of the activities, and
Yeah.
I'll detail some of those activities in a little bit, you would get a signed postcard.
So the funny part is, like, he heckled them, and so the guy was like, nah, man, you deserve this. And the wife looks at him, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And he's like, nah, this is great. And she's still like, I'm still sorry. And he was like, yeah! And we were like, oh, this poor woman.
Dude was standing right behind us, and this dude
was
was
hilarious.
honestly more life of the party than the chainsaws were, especially the souped up chainsaws that
was
were
great.
modified.
It was a riot because he would just scream random things. It's like America would be like, "Oh, we're gonna win," and he's like, "No, you're not!"
Please into the microphone.
Sorry.
It's okay. I have a limiter on it. You can do whatever you want to.
Whatever.
Just joshing
Yeah.
me.
So they would do things like they climb. What do? They climb.
Yeah, so
they belay each other or something.
You saw lumberjacking anywhere between using chainsaws to cut wood, using chainsaws to cut more wood, using axes to cut wood in very particular ways. You saw the lumberjacks doing the log roll where they're trying not to get into the water. You saw the lumberjacks use little ropes and stuff to haul themselves up higher and higher onto the big 2 logs that you can see in the background of this photo over here. And of course, they took some axes and
they
threw them at
axe
the top.
throwed. They did like different cuts. They did different ways of doing cuts.
Yeah. And evidently, like lumberjacking competitions, like what
This
I don't
is
remember what
this
they
is on
called them,
ESPN still. It's
don't
a
remember
national.
what they call them.
I can see what it is.
but like wood-related sports like this are a thing. I did not know that they were, and only as we made our way to Ketchikan, Alaska, where we enlightened to this particular activity of mankind, and it was pretty cool. The one thing that I thought was really cool that stuck out to me.
Sports.
Huh? Timberland?
Timber sports.
Timber sports. So,
Yeah.
if anybody out there watches timber sports, tell me about it. Do they use anything other than chainsaws? Are they allowed to like modify their chainsaws?
They had speed climbing championships,
Speed climbing.
timber sports.
Timber
I'm going through
sports.
What they all won.
There's a whole section
Full-on
of
championships.
sports that
There's
is
the
dedicated to
American
wood.
Lumberjacks Association.
Jacking wood. Lumberjacking is most commonly referred to at the very least. And I think that's pretty cool. During one of the things that they did, they took these like I don't know, modified
And actually,
chainsaws and they just made really, really loud sounds. Really loud sounds.
cut things.
And then cut things with them really, really quickly. Yeah. With the very, very souped up chainsaws. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
That was most of the day.
Yeah, you could it was good. I really liked the lumberjacking. Honestly, I think I wasn't as into that show as I probably would have been given other circumstances.
What?
I don't know, like the way that when when I signed up for lumberjacking, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome.
It's a very scripted show.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting like this very entertaining but scripted show between one side versus the other.
There
I
were a
wasn't
lot of
prepared-
jokes that I think neither of us were like, oh, that's fine. Okay. And I don't think they landed for us.
I was prepared for a show of testing the limits of human lumberjacking.
Cameron, you gotta be safe.
And what we got was a competition.
Yeah, we got a mini
I just wasn't expecting it. It was still entertaining. It was really cool. I certainly can't do that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll stick with my tiny little cosmopolitans behind the bar and be like, go boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you jack that
So
lumber.
that one-
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on then.
Yeah. So we did that.
So,
We
salmon.
went for a walk. We went for a walk and we
Check
found
out the salmon. Shut up! Check out the salmon.
They jumped upstream.
Yeah.
You can see the one falling in the background.
You see that salmon?
Yeah, there were a lot. So
Check out the
basically,
salmon.
for a while, I was like, oh, where's all the salmon? Like,
Did you know
what's
the
going
pictures
on?
move?
It looks like there's nothing going on. And then Cameron's like, actually, look farther back. Which
Nah, but
was like,
seriously, like, as
it
we
was
were...
just a whole swarm of salmon that made it look like the water was just
As
horribly
we
dark.
walked through Ketchikan, we were just kind of exploring the local town and stuff. Ketchikan was not as big as Juneu was. There was not
Yeah.
as big a mercantile district where you could go into like shops and browse around and whatnot. There also weren't as many like mountain trails as there were in Juneu, at least from what we were able to see in Ketchikan. So we're walking along one of the local parks on the salmon walk, as they call it, and we're just kind of looking at the water. And at one point we come to the salmon ladder.
Yeah.
And the salmon ladder, as its name implies, is supposed to be the place that makes it easier for salmon to get up back to their home area. One of the things that distinguishes salmon from other types of fish and whatnot is that their life cycle looks something like this. They are born in a pond or some sort of like area of water inland. And then after they hatch and mature and whatnot, they make
They
their
go
way
away for
out
like
to the ocean.
2 to 4 years, depending on which kind they
Yeah.
are, and they'll return at the end of their life to lay their eggs.
Back
and
in the
then
same
die.
plot, then back in the same pond
Yeah.
of which they were raised
And then they
hatched
die.
in. So a lot of times these salmon will be born at a pond way, way up top, and they will make their way down the mountain into the ocean eventually. And then they will have to make their way back up in order to lay their eggs and create the next generation. So in order to increase the yield of salmon, because a lot of them get caught by bears, they die along the way, they have troubles and tucking themselves out to the point where they just don't get up the waterfalls.
They did
created
make
this,
some ladders.
Yeah, this structure called a salmon ladder. It is not a ladder like...
It looked lame. No, it wasn't lame.
It's
It
not
was
like-
just like, there were less
not like this
salmon
kind of
using
ladder.
that, which was interesting because like you had this really rocky area where they're all trying to jump up it, and then there were like a few on the side, like the side people that were like kind of the smarter ones that were like,
salmon
I'm gonna
ladder-
get here.
A salmon ladder looks more like water stairs,
Yeah.
but that's the point of it.
Yeah.
With tiny little waterfalls to get from one stair to the other.
Some of them are
But
smart.
so we're walking along the salmon trail, and we find the salmon ladder, and we look over this little bridge, and we're like, I don't see any salmon. I don't understand. They're not pink salmon. These ones are either the silver salmon, the king salmon, or one of the other ones that don't have that bright
I think the
pink color.
cockeye salmon.
Sockeye?
Sockeye salmon.
You can say the first one again.
I'm tired.
You're doing great.
The sockeye salmon and the pink, I think, went together.
Yeah.
There were two that migrate together. I know the king was earlier in the season, so it wasn't the king salmon.
Yeah. But it was cool. We look into the water and we see an entire crowd of salmon. What we were looking at was not the reflection of like light off of the water. It was off of hundreds of fully grown salmon all trying to make their way up the waterfall like you see in the picture over here, but also just in the water like more or less patiently waiting their turn to get their
They
next
were not
attempt.
patient. They were just trying to like swim against current and maintain
Those
their
fish
location.
were trying to survive.
They were trying to maintain where they were.
wanted to go up there and spawn anew.
There were
And a
some
lot of
that
them
like
did.
were hiding off to the side, like I'm exhausted, but I still need to swim in this current.
And some of them were just dead.
Yeah, that was
Some of
the
them were
thing.
dead.
Yeah.
I would like to note at this point, we had been warned of bears. We have been told of bears.
Cameron
that
never
lie in
saw
the mountains.
bears.
I did
Poor
not see a
sad
bear.
Karen.
Was very sad.
Oh my god.
So instead of that, that is a very awkwardly moving photo. Let's not do that. So then, as we made our way out of the forested areas of Ketchikan, we made our way to the next distillery that Anna so happened to find for us, which was Uncharted Amalga Distillery, which is a very, very new distillery in Ketchikan, Alaska,
It is
sporting
younger than 2 years old.
younger than 2 years old. They have some whiskey that they've been aging for a number of years before they actually opened up the distillery location, and I took home probably one of the most unique bottles of whiskey I have ever had my chance to sample. This is really cool. So first off, if you saw in the last photo, they were marketing this as Sorghum whiskey. Sorghum, if you don't know, is like a kind of, I'll describe it like a sugary grass. I can't tell you too much more about it because I just don't have the knowledge chops on them. But sorghum you will find in a variety of different walks of life, such as like, I think Southern cuisine. We picked up the sorghum syrup on one of our vacations one year. In a previous year, you find sorghum used as the base grain / sugar source for spirits like Baijiu, for example. And this spirit, this whiskey in particular, used sorghum as a significant enough part of their mash bill to be advertising it as such. What was the exact amount? I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't able to get that answer from the bartender, but they gave me a pretty good like little history of the distillery itself, having only been there for about, I think, 2 or so years now. This was, I know for sure, from the second barrel of whiskey that they had undone to start bottling and stuff, because when we got there, the bartender had just finished bottling this particular one with the second barrel that they were undoing to, actually start bottling product and stuff. And this one was very, very interesting. I think we tried, while we were there, a vodka. I think we tried this whiskey, and we tried a huckleberry moonshine that was just kind of a artificially blue-colored thing that tasted kind of like black raspberry a little bit. I couldn't really pick up the huckleberry notes. Of note, we did try some huckleberry on the trip, but there's a blue version of huckleberry and also a red version of huckleberry, and we were only able to find the red version. Oddly enough, the huckleberries that you see that often flavor a lot of the candies and whatnot in Alaska or otherwise don't really get their huckleberries from Alaska. They actually get them from Wyoming because they really don't have I guess either they don't have enough huckleberry, or there's just not an economic reason to be harvesting the huckleberry right from Alaska. They just import it from, I think the one person said it was Wyoming. So this whiskey, off the nose, smells like whiskey, who knew? I'm getting it almost smells a little cotton candy-like to me. I'm not really sure where those notes are coming from. smells like whiskeys that I'm used to. I am still on the point of my spirits journey where I'm getting better at describing like the smell of things as well as the taste of things too. So in case my spirit descriptions lack a little bit, that's just where I'm at in my spirit journey. Yeah. There it is. What struck me as weird about this particular whiskey, which is why I inquired further about what the heck was in the mash bill here, is that it has a note of like licorice to it. I have never had a spirit other than something that is intended to be like licorice-y flavored that almost had that licorice fennel-y type quality to it. It's very, very slight, but to me it's very noticeable amidst those other flavors of your classic slightly vanilla. I'd say it's even more like cardamom spice notes than anything else, with honestly a bitterness that I'm not super used to. This tastes more like oak wood than other whiskeys I've had that might be a little bit sweeter, for example, with mash bills including corn, for example. Yeah, it's kind of smoky too. I don't know where the notes of smoke are coming from. So far, every single time I've taken a sip of this, I get slightly different notes from it. The first time, after sipping, I think it was the vodka that they had there, it was very potently licorice to me. Now it's a little more subsided, tasting a lot more like toasty oak, whether it's toasted or otherwise. I think I did have notes on this particular distillery or bottle, and let me see if I can find it. Uncharted notes. Uncharted Alaska, distillery Fire Dog, licoricey notes aged in barrels borrowed from another distillery. Mash includes sorghum from Wisconsin. So that's where the sorghum in this comes from. It is very smoky, especially on the end part of the palate. It's almost like the smell of like bacon or maybe not bacon. It's not meaty. It's more like smoky wood more so than anything else. And in particular, there was another note in there and I forgot what it was. What was it?
I don't know.
It was aged in barrels borrowed from another distillery. I don't remember. I think it was rum barrels? Maybe?
I don't remember what they said, but they were like, that one shut down. They decided to use their barrels.
Yeah. Oh, oddly enough, can I have a bar spoon, by the way? Please? Thank you so much. I want to taste the sorghum in comparison because I haven't done this taste comparison yet and I really wanted to. So oddly enough, when we were at the Space Bar, going way back to the beginning of the honeymoon trip, we kind of talked a little bit. I got to see the back of the bar, the back of the kitchen, and a centrifuge that they were trying to get rid of that I was so close to purchasing. I was this close to purchasing a slightly broken centrifuge from a bar, but I didn't wind up making the purchase because I just honestly didn't have the money for it. But the centrifuge came from a now defunct distillery that would create, I think it was called Quantum Distillery, and they had this Quantum Rye whiskey, I believe, if I'm quoting it correctly, that the Space Bar would use in some of their cocktails. Evidently, when the Quantum Distillery closed down, the Space Bar bought a lot of their whiskey barrels.
They bought them out.
They bought them out and brought them all the way back and then used them in their cocktails. Eventually, the cocktails that sport the quantum whiskey like bottles and whatnot will no longer be available and they'll be taken off the menu because there just won't be any left of it. Now, in particular, they were saying that at the Uncharted Distillery in Alaska, Uncharted Alaska Distillery specifically, they got their barrels, the barrels themselves, not the spirit within them, from another distillery that is now closed down.
Yeah.
Do you remember whether it was a local distillery?
I don't.
That's okay.
I know they used, they were using the old firehouse. Like, they opened within the last 2 years. They opened in an old firehouse, and I think it was like...
Yeah. If you notice...
Someone moved and brought sorghum with
it.
them. I think it was like Wisconsin or like...
I think they said their distiller or whatever loved, like needed for one reason or another to bring the sorghum with them. So they did. And they brought the sorghum and they distilled it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now what I've got here is this container of bourbon barrel aged sorghum syrup, I guess, is what I would imagine. And I just want to see if I can get any similar flavor notes from the sorghum whiskey to otherwise.
Why did did you do that?
It kind of tastes like a rubber tire. It tastes like a rubber tire, just a little bit. That's right, really, it's really dark in flavor. That's like caramelly, but like bitter, and like, it's bitter, just like the bitterness over here. That's all I'm getting. That's really all I'm getting. That goes better diluted. I've had this in coffee before, and it tastes great. It complements the flavor in a way that I can't quite articulate, but it's good stuff. I see Annie saying, yeah, confirming what I was saying about the whiskey earlier. Time to donate biddies to the centrifuge. Oh my goodness. Little Abe says I offered, Cam and Anna didn't accept. Rubber tires, but that's not Malort. No, not like the... It's sweeter. It's sweeter than a skirt. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You know how... Nah, I'm not even gonna go down that path. It's more dirt-like than it is tire-like. Anyways, I've talked about the distillery enough. We shall move on to the rest of the trip. We've been talking about our honeymoon trip for almost 2.5 hours now. Yeah. Getting tired. How are you doing, by the way?
I'm exhausted.
Okay. Would you like to just take a break? I can speed through the rest of things.
So this is the rest of Ketchikan.
Ketchikan!
It was Alaska's first city.
The salmon capital of the world.
Yeah. So we do have like chocolates and stuff like there. It was really good overall.
That is indeed how you spell Sorghum.
I don't know what else there was.
It's true.
Oh, and then we had the non-alcoholic spirit.
There was a photo. I don't know if I have a photo of the bottle, but of note on the cruise when we got back, there was this bottle of non-alcoholic, like it was almost like non-alcoholic sparkly hypnotic.
Okay.
Oh, you checked it all?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting to the end. Ketchikan was the last big stop on our trip.
Yeah, and then the last day, like it was a sea day, and we were
at sea again.
I was exhausted. I think we took it. So we did a mini tour of the cruise. Yeah, we did like a mini tour of the cruise. Sorry.
You're good.
We had our friends split like this non-alcoholic bottle with us. I thought it tasted more like. I don't know what it tasted like, but it said it was like apple.
I don't have tasting notes on it.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was sparkly. It was cool.
I will say one of the best things about this particular cruise we went on, and I don't know whether it was because of the fact that it was a Disney cruise or otherwise. Like, I don't know if you will have a similar experience than we did, but our Disney cruise was unlike anything that we had ever. We made very fast friends with a number of the cast members on board, including our server, some of the bar servers, as well as even the folks who were going in and like cleaning our room and stuff.
I think the biggest difference I can think of, since like I took cruises when I was younger, one of the biggest differences is like everyone was friendly in a way that like if they wanted to interact with it, like anyone that wanted to interact, you interacted with them multiple times. You saw the same people over and over and over. And to the point where like we became friends with people because we kept seeing them.
Yeah, and we were even got really close to the folks that we were sat at the table with. We went on excursions with them. Yeah. We were standing in line for characters with these people. They were so incredibly cordial. They were so kind to us. They were so personable as well.
They were fun.
We just hit it off with just people.
I have a lot of book recommendations from one. Because, I have a lot of book recommendations. Like, he's like a librarian for kids, and I was like, this is so cool.
I don't know whether it's the particular environment of that type of cruise.
I think it's also like part of it is the Disney vibe. Like you pay for the Disney experience, and the Disney experience is, to me, always been more friendly because I go into the parks and I just talk to whoever
I'm sure
the heck
it's
is
different
there.
from everybody, but I've been on one other cruise before, and it was like a rock and roll type cruise. My dad does work like that, and he's a freaking rock star. And it was kind of like we were bussing from show to show on the ship every couple hours or so. So I never really got time to really sit down and just relax on my own. But for the most part, people were there for themselves. People were there to have their own vacation inward and kind of like, I am here to party at the casino, drink my drinks, go to dinner, and go back to my room. There weren't a lot of stuff that happened on at least the cruise that I went on.
This had a lot of events to the point where like I was like, okay, so here are the list of events that I want us to do. And it's like sometimes we would do half of them. but like they existed, and I could book out the full day, and there'd be like maybe a half hour where Cameron would be like, okay, I don't want to do any of this, and I'd be like, cool, you can sit down and read, and I'm gonna go run around the ship, because Anna could not sit still the entire time. I'm having a really hard time sitting still.
I didn't really have much time to sit down and read anyways. I brought some of my favorite books with me. Liquid Intelligence, Death and Co., Welcome Home. I read basically only Liquid Intelligence on the way back home because I actually had time for it. We will get there. We're almost there. The last part of the story is arguably the most frustrating.
Yeah.
So let's see. For the tail end of our Disney cruise experience, our honeymoon experience, we got some pictures with Captain Minnie, which was lovely.
We paid for the photo package, so there were like
Look at this
like
photo.
I like how that's the one you picked.
I love this one. It's on the thumbnail.
I like the one where we're
It's
like
on the
actually.
thumbnail.
I don't know. I think the cuter
the
ones
thumbnail.
is the ones where we're looking at each
I
other.
love this. No, I like this one the best. It's
No,
great.
I
It's
like
on
the other
thumbnail.
ones. Look, you have your wish band.
And your butt looks nice.
Why would you say that?
Because I think it looks nice.
And there's the that's the back of the ship. So you have Donald Duck trying to paint it, and it.
Are you sure that's not the front of the ship?
Yeah, that's the back.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But I can see Donald's butt. Oh, dude, I don't know why I didn't include it. I have a close-up of Donald's ass in my gallery.
I don't know why you.
I don't know why I didn't put it in here.
Yeah, but so like that's the ship after we
He's thick.
docked and everything. Because when we were going on, they were repainting and touching it up.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. No, it was super duper fun.
What you doing?
That was kind of click the button and I clicked the wrong button.
What button?
That was kind of the end of the. So at this point, we've kind of wrapped up the Disney cruise part of our trip. We made friends along the way. We took a bunch of pictures with characters and stuff. We just had an amazing experience. I mean, I would love to talk at length in more of the details and stuff like this, but I'm sure they will come up. We're getting kind of tired over here for talking about us for 2 hours. I'd much rather be talking about you and tales of the cocktails. Anyways, moving on. There was one last stop. So at this point, we're getting into the very, very tail end of our journey. The very tail end was trying to get home.
Oh, well, first we went to
the cruise ship. We got off the cruise ship and tried to walk around a little bit more in Vancouver to try to get to some of those areas that we missed. We wanted to go back to the Liberty Distillery to pick up the oat vodka, to get some more bigger bottles of the Endeavor gin, for example. But it was kind of rainy. It was really rainy.
It was really rainy, so we really didn't want to be outside.
To be fair, that was the one day that it rained really badly.
Other
And
than
I'm
the
glad.
sea days, but
Yeah.
like they weren't that bad.
Honestly, everything else was very like clear skies and whatnot. But we stopped at one more location, and it's the H Tasting Lounge, which usually has a Winnie the Pooh tea experience.
It currently has a Winnie the Pooh tea experience on Saturdays and Sundays. I could not get us into the experience at all, but I was like, this place looks cool.
We just
should go.
embarked on just a day that it wasn't available.
Well,
I think.
No, it was a Saturday. So if I could have gotten it, it would have been the Saturday or Sunday before. But I could not get us a reservation at all. It was fully booked.
Weren't able to do it.
Yeah.
If you're in Vancouver and you know of the H Tasting Lounge, I recommend it. It's at the Westin over near the where the cruise is usually poured off on.
So it has a array of cocktails and different foods.
Yeah.
So like technically that's focaccia bread with a butter candle.
Oh yeah. So
you had to pour the butter onto the focaccia bread. It was so good.
I didn't take pictures of the cocktails because I had another at-length conversation with the bartender. But if I can get this thing, that's kind of all I got from that. Essentially, they gave you a butter candle, and as the butter candle burned,
there was also oil on the bottom too.
Yeah.
So like you could use either.
As the butter candle burned, you would apply the butter to your toast and let it drip upon your focaccia bread. It was really good.
We let it burn all the way.
Yeah. I also just had another like really wholesome conversation with one of the bartenders that, like, honestly, if you have met me in a bar before and you've actually talked to me, I've probably just nerded out about cocktail mixology with you. I've probably also nerded out about the fact that I love cocktail mixology so much that I would really, really like to do more of it in like my professional time. So without giving too much personal information, I'm trying to do more and more cocktail stuff and less about me and more on the honeymoon stuff. But I think you've seen it. I recently announced that we actually won a cocktail competition, which was kind of cool. And I think it was Cognac USA that just put out an announcement for that the other day, which was a total win for us as a little Bar WithAnX community. But anyways, so as we were on our way, this is the final end of our journey on our honeymoon, which was trying to get back into America. Oddly enough, this was arguably the hardest part. During the first part, at least, you know, we were driving with friends to go over to Indianapolis to go to the board game convention, which we're already used to. It's familiar territory. That was easy for us. When we got into Canada, the flight was smooth. It was very easy to get in and out. Customs was actually a breeze to get into Canada. They have these little things that you scan your passport at. You do a simple declaration form and you're good to go. Getting onto the cruise ship, the only hard part was, you know, trying to get our bags onto the ship. But aside from that, they whisked them away from us and we had a pleasant experience for the next 7 nights or so before coming back to Vancouver and getting to the airport just a little bit too early. We got there too early, we couldn't check in our bags, so we hung around at the Vancouver airport for a little bit, eventually getting onto our flight, which was a late night flight for 4.5 hours to Toronto, where we had a layover back into Philadelphia. Then and I will specifically call out Air Canada as a very, very great service experience, but a terrible flying experience. We managed to, first of all, when we got onto the one flight, the lights were on the entire time, 4.5 hours in the middle of the night. People were talking the whole time. I can't blame the airline for that. I can only blame the people. And I pretty much zonked out because I had noise canceling headphones in. So I was more or less fine with that. But by the time that we got to Toronto, 10 minutes after our flight was supposed to embark, we get a notification saying that our flight was canceled and that they would book us on a new flight 9 hours later to Montreal, Canada instead. So going back and forth with the service representatives, which are actually very, very kind to us, and getting a couple of meal vouchers at the Toronto airport, we make our way and sit along in the food cafeteria area for quite a little while. This is just a picture of Anna, like, solemnly looking at her phone with the little, like, flower terminal thing in the Toronto airport. We were in that airport for like 9.5 hours as we waited to get on our flight home. We'll get to that slide in a hot second. So we managed to get on our flight to Montreal, which only took about an hour, and we get to Montreal and they tell us that customs is closed, which I've literally never heard of before, but then again, I've only been on this earth for a measly 26 years, so I'm sure that I was bound to find that eventually. So we arrive in Montreal. There was a line all the way from one end of the particular gate area of where we actually had to move to, for all the way from the support desk to, like, I don't know, some gates. I can't tell you a distance there because I don't have a proper scale for it. Also, my mind was not completely with me at that point, to the customer service desk with all of these US-bound flights that had been completely canceled. Nobody was going home that night. The airport hotel was completely booked out. There was apparently multiple hotels. Every single one of them booked out. Instead, your only option at that point, from what we were told, was to scan a QR code that was allegedly outside of the airport, which I never found, by the way, that would give you a $300 reimbursement if you booked like a hotel in the area, or you could get like a $90 Airbnb. I called up a number of people just to say, like, you know, we're not going to be home on time. Things are kind of complicated. What do I do? And somebody told me a story of basically just renting a car. So, we rented a car in Montreal and we just drove the whole way home. It took us 8.5 hours, probably close to 9 hours, to drive our way back from Montreal, Canada to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the middle of the night, taking no toll roads because we are trying our best to save money and remain frugal by driving through New York all around the island of Manhattan. We stopped at this one place in the middle of the Adirondack Mountains, which they had a coffee machine and a vending machine. We got a little sandwich. I got myself some coffee because for some reason, when we got a sandwich from the vending machine, the coffee machine decided to restart, boot into security mode, and the password was 1111. I know that because I put the password in, and I was greeted with a number of options, including complimentary dispensation mode. So I turned off payment on the machine, by the way. For anybody if you work at that one rest stop in the Adirondack Mountains in New York and you found that the coffee machine is giving away coffee for free, it's really shitty coffee, by the way, but it's free. I did that. You're welcome. And then a number of hours later, we made our way home. We slept until 3 p.m. and got a very measly refund, but we found our way back here in Philadelphia.
We survived.
And we survived our trip. We survived our entire honeymoon trip.
And now I can say my honeymoon ended with us driving home from Canada.
It's true. We made a couple of friends along the way. It was very, very nice. We drank a couple of spirits on our way back as well. Learned a little bit about the local flora and fauna. And overall, had a pretty damn good time, in my humble opinion. Dearest,
Yeah.
would you honeymoon with me again?
The honeymoon never ends.
Oh, actually, yeah, that was a funny part.
We went through customs enough.
We went through U.S. Customs once.
Twice.
The big line. The big line, I mean.
No, we had to go through it to. Oh, well, yeah.
There was
the
big line for customs. We went through one time. Actually, no, we only went through once. No, we went through twice.
We went through Canadian customs 3 times.
We went through
that
U.S.
day.
Customs once because we actually went over custom. We crossed over to the U.S. side, only to have our flight canceled to go back into Canada.
Yeah.
And then to drive all the way back from Canada to the United States, where the Border Patrol guy was just like, "How is Alaska?" And we were like, "It was great," and then he let us on our way.
Yeah.
But the person who checked us out at U.S. Customs was like, "What's going on here? What's with the hats?"
We were like, "Oh,
"We're on our honeymoon."
we just finished our honeymoon." Or she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, when does the honeymoon end?" And I'm like, "It ended."
Trick question.
The honeymoon never ends.
She looks us dead in the eyes and just like, "The honeymoon never ends."
And she looks at Caro and she says that. I'm like, she's like, "You better remember that."
I felt threatened by the U.S. Customs agent, and honestly, I deserved
the
it.
U.S. Customs? Yeah, that was U.S. Customs.
I deserved it. I was the one who said the honeymoon was ending. I was wrong. And then we made our way back here, all the way, quite literally, from an automotive standpoint, crawling our way back so that we could be with you here today.
Yeah, we totally crawled. We didn't
true. We totally
drive
crawled.
like 8 hours.
That's all we got. In any case, and now we're back here home at the beautiful Bar WithAnX here, beautiful, beautiful Philadelphia. And
Sorry,
honestly,
I'm really tired.
no, I'm tired too. That took a lot out of me. This is the 2.5 hour mark anyways. This is kind of where we land ourselves.
It's been a long day for Anna.
It's been a very long day. If anybody's got any final questions about how the honeymoon went or specific questions about Disney cruise stuff and whatnot, you can feel free to ask it here live. You can leave it in the comments section for those of you watching after the fact. We also
You can go
have
to our Discord.
got a community Discord.
Your
you
Discord.
You can ask it there too.
I will gladly respond to all Disney questions.
Anna will answer all of your possible Disney questions, including what similarities the Disney Wonder has with its sister ship, the Disney.
Oh my God!
The Disney.
Bring that up!
The Disney. What's the name of the sister ship?
Magic.
Disney Magic. Like, for example, they have similar carpentry.
Yes.
And that's pretty much all I'm gonna say on that. But it was a blast. That's pretty much all we got for y'all. Despite the fact that we've been back from our honeymoon for at least a couple of days now and had our chance to readjust to the jet lag and whatnot, we are tired.
I had a busy day.
Very busy day. It's also been hot in this apartment. You know what I mean?
I haven't been here, so I have no idea.
Anna, can I give you a hug?
This is weird.
If it's weird, you don't have to hug me. I offered the hug. You don't have to take it.
I like hugs.
Why would you take the hug that I offered and then complain about it? I love you, dearest. I love you very much, and I'm happy to have taken a honeymoon with you.
Whoa! And we're gonna go do another Disney cruise. I sold Caro.
Next time. We'll do another Disney cruise next time. This was a lot of fun. This was an entire recollection of our Disney honeymoon, our Disney cruise, the honeymoon that we took. We went to a board game convention. We found our way to Canada, then Alaska on a Disney cruise, and wound up driving our way all the way back just so we could tell you the story and bring a couple of little goodies along the way.
Also, so that I don't have to keep paying an arm and a leg to be in Canada.
That's true. I think according to the various cancellations and stuff, we would have gotten back 2.5 days later.
We would have gotten back, I think,
We got a full day later.
halfway, night
got a full
of
day.
Thursday. We were supposed to be back Tuesday morning.
Yeah. I think we got back like a full day late. So it was an extra, I think we got back at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. And I think we were supposed to get back Tuesday morning. And then we took a number of days to rest up after the fact. But I'm tired now. So thank you everybody for coming on until the very, very end to hear our stories. Just to give you a very, hopefully quick, because I am tired and so is Anna. Thank you again for lasting through all of this. Just a very quick update on what the schedule will be for streams and stuff going forward. I am almost back from a full hiatus yet. I am working on a couple of things. A week from today on September 11th, Yes, that is the date. They will be Keyblade cocktails. I've been working on a number of cocktails for Kingdom Hearts because we finished the series over a month ago, and then
Never did any cocktails.
But never did any cocktails on it. So there will be a showcase on those cocktails exactly a week from today. There'll be 6 or 7 cocktails. I need to determine the exact lineup for the stream. And then after that, we'll be continuing on with our series of Kingdom Hearts. You all voted. There was a poll out in our Discord server. I redirected it on the YouTube chats and was kind of talking amongst ourselves about it. Y'all voted for more Kingdom Hearts in the form of Chain of Memories, specifically Re-Chain of Memories because it's a part of the Steam game release here. So we'll be continuing with that. And then far after the fact, there will be more cocktails. There will be Kingdom Hearts 2 eventually, and whatever else comes along the way. I see Gloria's asking about playing Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th. There was at least some discussion amongst me and the mods about trying to fit in some one-off things because next month is October. Halloween is approaching very, very fast, and I'll admit I've been trying to figure out a way to do a little more one-off content because, you know, I'm sure some of you might be a little bit tired of Kingdom Hearts. Some of you probably are not. So to the folks who are ready and raring to go, don't worry, there's more. For those of you who are like, can we get on? I'm tired of the mouse. I have you in mind as well. So to everybody out there, thank you so much yet again for listening to our story. We'll be back to regularly scheduled programming next Wednesday, and then Monday and Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time each day after that, where I will include for y'all a cocktail recipe, some video gameage, and whatever else we see along the way. To all y'all, I'm really, really glad to be back. My name's Cameron, with an X. I was your bartender this evening, and I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your night if the moon is shining where you are. If it's the morning and you're in a completely another time zone, have a wonderful morning, dawn, evening, twilight, no matter what time zone you're in, because we were in at least 3 over the last month. Have a wonderful rest of whatever the next 24 hours is going to be for you. Love you all very much. It's so good to be back, and I can't wait to see you all again. But until then, y'all, cheers, and bye.